Hey, everybody.
We are back.
Why the fuck it seemed like it was gonna go again? That was really weird.
I got the damn volume on this.
Oh, that's what it was. It was you.
Yeah.
I'm sitting there going, what the fuck? Is it looping?
That
I'm pretty sure I had that turned off.
Yeah, so today is Open Lines Friday.
So it's Black Friday.
Black Friday, Open
Did anybody
Lines Friday.
actually, does anybody in their right mind actually go out on Black Friday and buy shit? I know that some people like to. They're just kind of like, hey, we're going to get up at like 5 in the morning and go wait in line outside of Best Buy or whatever.
Guess it depends on where you live and how much money you have and what you want.
It just doesn't seem all that fun to me. And I mean, you know, because I don't really like being around a lot of people anyway, and I don't like getting up early.
I give a shit about retail goods. That's the problem.
Well, the thing about it is that I would rather like pay a little bit more and have shit delivered to my house so I don't have to go no place.
Right. They're selling a what? I don't give a shit about that. Yeah, I mean, you know, ever since I was a little kid, they sold these little trinkets. There were even fucking commercials for them. If you look at what they were selling back in the 70s, like old 70s commercials, you're like, I can't believe people bought that. Well, guess what? You're buying the same fucking thing. It's just a modernized version of that.
I feel like everybody just wants to go buy like TVs, and I'm like, well, we have a bunch of TVs already. It's like, you know.
Well, some people need them.
That's true. The only thing I bought today, I bought online, and I bought a ring light. You know, one of those lights that go around the camera, but you can clip it on the top of your thing to kind of like fuck with the lighting a little bit more.
Does it work better?
Well, I don't know. That's what like a lot of people have those.
All right.
Like for podcasting.
We'll see.
And we'll see if it makes my face look prettier.
Okay.
Because the light in here is kind of like weird, but I like it. But it's kind of like weird, like especially on the faces, and like sometimes I'm kind of like the shadows are kind of harsh.
Yeah.
It was $15. It was on sale, so that was the only thing I bought today.
Oscar says that siren wail in the intro is freaky. Yeah, that's why we did that shit. Jenny was looking for some creepy shit. That's why you put that on.
Yeah, I love creepy shit.
Yeah.
Danny Rolling Ghostface says that Bruce Campbell Black Friday film was kind of lame, but original. Just saying. Yeah, I've heard about that. I was like, I'll watch anything with Bruce Campbell in it, though. I mean, he makes everything good.
Oscar asks, have you guys seen the movie The Cook, The Thief, and His Lover?
Yes.
I've never seen it.
I have seen it, yeah. It's really, really good. Actually, I wanted to see it. Somebody else brought it up, or I was reading something. Oh, I know. I was like reading a movie review about another movie I'd watched, and they compared it to that. And so I was like, yeah, I need to rewatch that because I remember that being really good. Somebody saw Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City. That's out already?
That's the new one?
Yeah. I saw we saw the trailer, but I thought it wasn't out until later. I want to see that new...
you go see that shit on fucking AMC?
I want to see Nightmare Alley, that new Guillermo del Toro one, but I don't think that starts until the middle of December, though.
So was Resident Evil any good?
Yeah. Said it was short but good.
All right.
Honestly, did I even see the first Resident Evil? I feel like I saw the first one, and I don't even know how many there were, and I never played the games, so I'm not much of a gamer. I always kind of like wanted to get into it, but I don't know. I just don't have time. I kind of, you know, I got so many movies I gotta watch. I got so many books I gotta read. I don't really have time to play video games because I know I'd get like all involved in it.
Oscar said I'd love it, but I'm not sure what he's talking about. He must be talking about the Thief movie.
It's I remember it being pretty weird.
What is it about?
Shit, man, what was it about? I remember it being kind of like an arty flick, but also cannibalism.
Okay. I've been wanting to go back and see the early '80s movie Thief. Remember that had that damn? I think it was James Caan, wasn't it?
Was it? What was it about? Refresh my memory.
I don't know. It was about a thief, and it had a damn. The soundtrack was by Tangerine Dream. It was supposed to be badass when it came out.
Did I see that?
Never seen it. There's a couple of them I need to see. I want to see Thief. I want to see Bullet. I've never seen that. I've never seen any of that dude's movies. What's his name? Fucking not James. What's that motherfucker's name? Dude that was in Bullet.
Steve McQueen.
Steve McQueen. I've never seen any of his movies.
Wasn't he in The Great Escape?
I've never seen that.
You've never seen The Great Escape?
Nope.
That seems like the quintessential dude movie. Or one of the quintessential dude movies.
Never seen it.
I've even seen that in I'm a Girl.
Yeah. No, I've never seen any Steve McQueen movies, but I keep hearing about Steve McQueen.
You didn't even see the original Blob?
I saw that. That's
okay, he was in that.
Okay.
He was supposed to be a teenager, even though he was...
Yeah, that's the only Steve McQueen movie I've seen.
Which doesn't really count. I mean, you know.
I don't... But, I do know that fucking Steve McQueen was a fucking dude, though. He was evidently just like a fucking real dude. Back in the 70s, 60s and 70s. He was big into hot rods and motorcycles. When he was living out in California, all the little custom hot rod shops made shit for him. And any of his cars, his cars are still swimming around in the collector's scene. You know what I mean? He had cars made for him. And if you got one, it's worth a lot of money. He'd have the best... Because, you know, back in the day, a factory car didn't have everything you wanted on it. It was really supposed to be modded out to get the best performance out of it. So McQueen, he'd buy a car and send it directly to these shops to have them modded out with the best shit you could possibly have, you know, including supercharging and turbocharging and all the best aftermarket stuff. And he'd have his, like a Steve McQueen special version of that car. And they're out there. Guys that fucking owned those shops remembered where they were, you know, and kept track of them as he'd sell them off, and they're worth a lot of money. And it just might be something weird, you know, like a Porsche or something, or just a Ferrari that he bought back in the 60s or 70s. And you know, if you own one of Steve McQueen's cars, you're the shit.
Dermot said, wasn't he in the Towering Inferno? Wait, was he?
We've never seen it. I've never seen Towering.
Well, I've seen it, but I saw it back in the fucking late 70s.
Yeah.
Like when I was a kid. I remember OJ was it. Wasn't OJ in it?
I don't know.
I think OJ was
I've never seen it.
Now, we recently watched The Poseidon Adventure.
Yeah, he wasn't in that.
No, he definitely wasn't in that. But, yeah, Gene Hackman was in that.
Yeah.
And Ernest Borgnine was in that. And Shelley Winters. And the dude that played... Charlie Bucket's grandpa in Willy Wonka.
Yeah.
He was a good character. But yeah, we meant to like go off into all the disaster movies, and actually, The Towering Inferno was the next one we were gonna watch. I thought. Yeah. Well, no, because I've been wanting to watch Orca too. Maybe we can watch it tonight if we're not so drunk that we don't know what's like happening in it.
Yeah, Orca Month says, dude, he said, Tom, you need to see The Great Escape. Yeah, I know. I keep hearing about it.
It's really good.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a classic. You really do need to see it.
I gotta get on the McQueen movies.
Yeah,
you know, I know about the dude. I've never seen his movies though.
It's weird because even I don't know if I would necessarily consider myself like a cinephile in the way that some people are, where they've seen like every fucking thing ever.
Yeah.
But it's weird because a lot of times, like when we bring up this or that movie, most of them I've seen. It's just that I saw a lot of them when I was younger. And, you know, as I got into my teenage years and stuff, I went more into like horror and, you know, kind of like weird cult movies and stuff. So sometimes I miss out on stuff, but I've seen, I mean, most of the classics. I've seen most of those at one time or another.
Straw Dog says it's weird that I mentioned Thief and Bullet at the same time because he's seen them both and he always thought they were very similar.
Yeah.
I've never seen either one of them. I've
seen Bullet, but I don't think I've seen Thief though.
I've seen like just like quick clips of both of those movies, and they look like a kind of movie I would like.
Oh, I'm sure you.
And I remember
would.
seeing the trailers for them, you know, and it just Bullet looked like something that right up my alley. I've just never seen it. It's a retro movie, you know, back in the day movie, but he's fucking terror-assing around up in the hills of California in this fucking badass Mustang, and McQueen looking cool and shit. And I don't know what it's about. He's got a fucking gun with a fucking in his shoulder holster. And then look like James Caan and Thief fucking cutting shit with sparks flying and fucking Tangerine Dream music playing, and he's got his goggles on. He's gonna cutting through a wall or a safe trying to get to something. It just looked like they both look like real good movies. Look like something I need to see.
Yeah, you need to start keeping a list like I have.
Yeah.
Like every time somebody suggests something. Well, most of the time when people suggest
they
something,
were before my time. They were before my time. You know,
that's no excuse.
Yeah. They were before my time. I'd never seen them.
I've seen a lot of movies that were, and liked a lot of movies that were before my time. If you only stuck to stuff that was of your time, you'd be missing out on a lot of shit. Yeah, Sheila Ann said terrible movie, Towering Inferno with Paul Newman, and also points out that Orca has Bo Derek. Yeah, I thought she was in that.
Well, we wanted to see Towering Inferno as part of our disaster kick.
Yeah,
70s disaster.
Because, like I said,
movies.
we were Poseidon Adventuring and Towering Inferno, and then I wanted to see some more like nature run amok movies, like The Swarm and stuff. So
when we were kids,
Empire of the Ants.
We grew up and they were constantly hitting us with them disaster movies, one after Airport 77, and shit like
Earthquake,
that.
Avalanche.
Yeah, Avalanche. And you're like, what the fuck? Every one of them was like the world was ending. That was coming out. We were little kids. You'd go to school and little kids like, oh man, you seen an earthquake?
Holy shit,
it's the earthquake. You never know what an earthquake is. The earth's shaking. We all die. I don't know anything about that. It's just fucking funny shit, And disaster films were fucking 70s. That was 70s as shit.
Yeah, like I said, disaster movies, any kind of like nature run amok movies.
Yeah.
Although disaster movies also shaded into like shipwrecks and things like that, but sometimes it was natural disasters.
Plane crashes, shipwrecks.
Yeah, all that kind of shit.
Volcanoes blowing up. the resorts on an island, the islands get swallowed up by the ocean. That kind of shit.
That kind of shit. Like I said, I just watched part of Avalanche yesterday because it was on they did it on the Netflix MST3K, and that was on part of their Turkey Day Marathon. That was the one with Mia Farrow. And Dermot also brought up The Deep. That was Jacqueline Bisset, wasn't it? I remember liking that a lot too. That was kind of like they were diving for pirate treasure, right? Or like buried treasure, something like that.
A long time.
John Smith says The Great Escape is a surprising classic in the UK. For some reason, we always watch it at Christmas or Easter. Don't ask me why.
It's that World War II trauma.
I guess. I don't know.
The thing with disaster movies, I remember the hook. The hook is that you got to see all of your favorite fucking stars. They would all be in the same movie. There might be 20 of them. You may not see them for very long, but they were all in there. Well, that's what the hook was.
If you wanted to see them all kind of like get killed in really horrifying ways.
Right. Yeah, so they were an all-star cast, and it seemed like the movie was, and with the trailers for them was like it was a fucking huge event because every fucking star was in this movie, each one for 2 minutes. But yeah, that's
until they got sucked into the earth or whatever.
That was the appeal.
Or got sucked out the plane window.
And I guess the stars liked him because they could just show up and do a couple hours work and get fucking $10,000.
Probably, yeah. However much they paid them back then.
Yeah.
It's like they just show up. It's like, you guys got free liquor on the craft table.
Yeah.
All right, let's do this, bitch.
You're right. All right, I jump in the water.
Oh God! The piranhas are eating me. Oh my God!
All right, give my $10,000. I'm out of here.
Bye.
You're fucking passing the money around.
That's probably what it was.
Yeah, of course.
Do you
remember? Like being on Hollywood Squares.
Well, I was going to say, funny you mentioned Hollywood Squares. I said, do you remember back in the old days when they used to have those big special events a few times a year, the Battle of the Network Stars?
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember that?
Same shit.
Where they would take kind of all their biggest stars from whatever shows they had, and they would teach them like circus tricks.
Yeah.
It's
kind of like Dancing with the Stars before Dancing with the Stars. Just do tricks and.
It's like, let's teach Linda Blair how to do like trapeze kind of shit, or like or walk on a tightrope or something like that. And it was just like, it's like the weirdest shit ever. Now that like you think about it, at the time nobody really thought it was weird, I guess.
They were trying to invent material.
But was it a competition between the stars from each network? Like the CBS people were pitted against the ABC people? Was it?
Yeah, if I remember correctly.
I don't remember it being like a competition, but I guess it was because Battle of the Network Stars.
They had all kinds of weird shit. They would have big fucking like luau's at certain times of the fucking year where they'd have the big Hawaiian motif and everybody's sitting up on a stage. It was kind of like the Merv Griffin show, and you had all these guests talking and then these fucking crazy ass acts, and everybody's watching it happen. There's a damn audience, and they got tables. The audience are sitting on tables watching it happen, and it's all being televised because that's the way a nightclub was back in the 70s.
Yeah, there's like this weird like variety shows.
It's like a variety show, and it would be like have something to do with like a certain time of the year. You have Sammy Davis Jr. up there fucking talking, and yeah, man, it was right, it was outstanding. And then you have all the different guys fucking talking and girls fucking and it was boobs and fucking legs and shit. It was kind of a sexy time in a way, but it was just like
it was a sexy time.
It was. People were fucking kind of freewheeling, and they were like, "Yeah, man, pass me the joint, man," And then they were just. And they were drinking in the audience, and they were drinking up on stage. And it'd be like a TV special. Remember those things?
Yeah.
And they would just make up a damn event, a special event. And the setting was like a talk show / a club. A 1970s, 1960s nightclub. And they'd do little acts and shit. And they'd give them fucking impressive names. And I can't remember any of them. I just remember them in general happening. But I don't remember the names of any of them.
I mostly remember the Battle of Network Stars one. Yeah, because for some reason I always want to watch that because I was just kind of like, yeah, let's see all these sitcom stars fall off a fucking trapeze.
Yeah.
For some reason that was really funny to me, or like ride an elephant.
It makes sense looking back on it though because there was no social media. So that's what the social media was, that they'd have parties.
We needed something to entertain us, God damn it. You kids today, you have no idea.
Right. They'd have a party on live TV with all the fucking stars in the party, basically, is what it was. And they'd get there and sing and shit.
That would be super funny if we did a 13 o'clock Battle of Network Stars thing where we did, like, where we had to learn how to do, like, circus tricks and whatever. Like, swallowing swords or whatever the fuck. I don't think they ever did that. They didn't do any of the, like, kind of the freak show or sideshow stuff, did they? It was mostly, like, riding elephants, getting in the cage with tigers, like Siegfried and Roy kind of shit.
It's been a long time since
Trapeze. I remember that kind of stuff.
It's kind of like, what do you call that shit? Like the gladiators. Remember those gladiator fucking television shows?
Yeah.
Where you had to run across obstacles and fucking hit things and fucking get scores and... That didn't last long.
There was one called
American Gladiators.
Yeah, American Gladiators.
Kind of like that.
That was actually more like that was like one against another.
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah, because I remember. I don't know. I don't remember. I kind of remember it, but I remember MST making a couple jokes about it because I remember one of the chicks was named Blaze.
They weren't they weren't that great. I never watched any of that bullshit.
No, I didn't really see it. That was a little bit after. That was 90s, right? Yeah. I feel like that was the 90s.
They were trying to, I think, fucking do Running Man.
Yeah, essentially.
Basically. Yeah, they're trying to do Running Man. From, like, Arnold Schwarzenegger's version of the Running Man.
Yeah, it was like that. But, they were hitting each other with, like, just big...
foam bullshit.
Things. So no one was really getting hurt.
Nowhere near as good as, like, the Japanese original.
Well, yeah, because the Japanese didn't really give a shit if people got hurt or not. Yeah.
It's called Tashigi's Castle, I think is what it was called. Then they fucking rebooted it here. They did an American version. Do you remember what that thing was called? Where they just had Japanese people fucking in these dumbass costumes trying to run across these weird obstacle courses and do these fucking crazy things that don't look like pirates or castles. And
I kind of remember that. I kind of remember that.
Tashigi's Castle, I think, is the real name of it. But I think they renamed it for the U.S.
Well, yeah, nobody's going to watch something called that over here. Well, nowadays they would, but back then they wouldn't have. Oscar Perez says, "Oh, we're doing the drinking game thing again. Take a shot every time Jenny mentions MST. Again, you'll probably get liver failure before the end of the show. Well, because you got to mention it around Thanksgiving because, they did the Turkey Day Marathon yesterday. And they said all the new episodes that they're going to do for their season 13 that they paid for with the Kickstarter.
John Smith says, Tashigi's Castle, the show was so difficult in its entire run. Only about 6 people ever won. Yeah, I think that's right. They had to get through all these damn challenges. I don't think anybody ever made it. Yeah. Right. But you forget that people don't make it. Just because it's just hilarious.
Well, yeah, you just wanted to see people, like, eat shit, You didn't really want to see people win.
Yeah. They would and the American version had, like, it was dubbed in English, so you had, like, American announcers fucking talking about what was happening. Oh, and she falls, and it's just fucking funny shit.
No shit. Did she really?
Yeah. Well, they're being sports announcers, and they're just people running and jumping from one thing to the next, and they're fucking like, oh. jumping on little moving fucking platforms that are suspended above a bunch of pudding or something, you know, just fucking crazy shit.
So gross.
Yeah.
It's just like, what was that shit on Nickelodeon? Double Dare. Where they had that, but that was like for kids. Well, was it kids or that was like your whole family? I think. Some of them were kids and some of them were like kids and their parents, and you had to do like all kind of gross, fucking. I don't know. I can't. I have a hard time. Like I can watch certain kinds of gross things all day long, but for some reason, like whenever they had something in Double Dare where people had to like wrestle in pudding or something, that just grosses me out. Or cream corn, I'm just like, no thanks. That's nasty. Like I'll eat it, but I'm not gonna watch people like roll around in it. That's like disgusting. So you went to the biker bar today.
Yeah, I went there today.
You have your ring on, I see.
Yeah.
So you didn't get in trouble with your girlfriend.
My other girlfriend, yeah. She wasn't there.
She wasn't there today.
No. I go in there and it's just fucking dudes and some chick working there and just drinking tequila, having a good time. A bunch of motorcycles coming in and out because it's kind of a holiday today. Because after Thanksgiving.
Yeah, the Black Friday.
So it was a motorcycle day, and I was talking to some dude sitting next to me, who is one of the, I guess he's one of the salesmen over at the local Ford dealership. And he said, "Oh yeah, I get you a car, you know." He said, "I'll take your Jenny's Ford Taurus in on trade. I'll get you a Mustang, you know." It's just saying everything that they have over there.
I mean, does he know what a kind of piece of crap my car is?
He says it doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. He can give you like between 500 and 1,000, depending on what it is that you buy from him. He said he could hook us up, but he said brand new cars are not coming because there's some kind of problem with resistors or something, or they can't complete cars right now. So there's a lot of used cars, and they're kind of drying up. So supply chain. He says that's for true. Cars aren't really being made. I think he said it was capacitors or something.
A flux capacitor?
Flux capacitor.
So we can't travel through time? Bummer. Oracle says, speaking of movies from before our time, asking me, have I ever seen Burn Witch Burn? I have. And matter of fact, I think I did a review of it not too long ago. Like maybe a couple months back. Yeah, that was actually really, really good. I don't think I had ever seen it prior to seeing it because I think Shudder had it on there. I don't know if it's on there anymore. But I watched it and did a review of it a while back. It's really, really good.
Yeah. Camp Guy says all car dealerships only have 5 or 10 new cars. That's what he said. He says that their selection of new cars is fucking like slim pickings. He says he's never seen it this bad.
Well, I can't afford a new car anyway, so I'm not gonna worry about it.
They'd be desperate to sell you a new car.
Well, unless they're gonna give it to me for free.
Yeah.
Then, if they give it to me for free, then maybe we could talk. Call me up. But, yeah. Careful with the used cars. A lot of those flooded cars are showing up now. Oracle says, have you read the book it's based on, Conjure Wife? I haven't, but I've read other books by that author. It's Fritz Leiber, right? Fritz Leiber? I've read some of his other stuff and some of his short stories, and that was one that I always kind of meant to get to, so I will eventually. John Smith says, ever seen The Love Witch? Yes. That was excellent. Not exactly a horror movie, but it had like a lot of horror elements to it. It was really cool. You'd probably like it. It's kind of like, it's made to look like an old, like a retro, almost like a Giallo movie. But it's sort of set in the present day, but it's kind of like not, you know what I mean? But the way it's shot is like really, really beautiful. But it's just like about this girl that's a witch and she's kind of like, but it's actually really cool. Not super horror-y. It's kind of, I don't know what I'd call it. It's sort of horror. I think they have it on, Shudder had it. I don't know if it's on there anymore, but I think you can get it on, I think it's on Tubi. It might be on Tubi for free. Oh, you know what I just noticed? I went to Tubi earlier today because I was watching another movie that I was going to review in a couple weeks. And they just added Naked Lunch.
Oh, I haven't seen that in a long time.
I haven't seen that in a long time either. I had that on VHS back in the old days. I don't know what happened to it. Yeah. That was a weird-ass fucking movie.
Yeah, I read the book. It was unreadable.
Yeah, I did too.
Unreadable. Like, what the fuck am I reading? This dude's fucking crazy.
Well, yeah, that was kind of his whole thing.
I got halfway through it, and I was like, nah. He couldn't stay on subject. He couldn't stay on topic. He's fucking, well, shit. I guess it's about
At least you like.
well, he was.
Were cognizant of that. You were like, oh wait. Oh.
Yeah. No, he's trying to write a story, and then he forgets about the story that he's writing, and then writes another story.
Look,
and
the
then
squirrel.
he forgets about that one, and starts writing another story. And I'm like, this motherfucker can't finish a story. He's just high. You could tell he was high.
Yeah, there's well, I mean, there's kind of a fine line between something that seems like it's not related, but it actually is related, like on another level, and then there's, you know, a dude that's just kind of like stoned and is just kind of like, I kind of got sick of that. Let's talk about this now.
Yeah, he was fucking stoned.
Bees Nest says the Clockwork Orange book is unreadable. I did not find it unreadable.
No, it's readable.
Maybe because, I guess because I saw the movie first, I think. Did I? I kind of feel like I saw the movie first, and then read the book. So the slang in there wasn't unfamiliar.
There's a dictionary in the back.
Yeah, there's a glossary in the back. Yeah. But a lot of the words I found that you could figure them out from just like context. You know what I mean?
Yeah, she said glossary. It was a dictionary.
It's a glossary.
Oh, okay.
It's not a whole. A dictionary is a whole big fucking dictionary.
Yeah,
it's a glossary.
All right.
That's just like terms we used in this shit. Here's what they all mean.
Yeah. You can understand what they're talking about.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, most of it. There was a couple ones that I had to look up, but most of the ones you could kind of get it from like context clues and stuff. Okay, Oscar Perez says Jenny, you would love books by Christopher Buehlman. I think you are the second person that has recommended that author to me. Great tomes of terror content. Okay, I'm gonna write that down because I'm always looking for new shit. I have all my stuff. What I'm starting to do, the one that I'm putting up on Monday, is the third book in the Messy Man series by Chris Sorensen, the lovely author that sent me the other two books, because I reviewed his first book and then he sent me the other two in the trilogy because he's awesome. So I reviewed that, and then I'm starting to do ones on, because I kind of ran out of print books and I can't really afford to get any more right now. So I'm going to do like a bunch of Kindle Unlimited ones, because Kindle Unlimited, if you have a subscription to that, you can actually read a whole shit ton of ebooks for free. So I'm just kind of going through there and picking ones that I've been wanting to read.
Oracle says the worst book he's ever read was Battlefield Earth. I saw the movie.
I can see that, because I haven't read Battlefield Earth, but I've read, because I worked for Scientologists, I read a lot of L. Ron's quote unquote nonfiction, like a lot of his Scientology, like his tech or whatever. And I know he was a pretty popular like fiction writer and stuff, but reading his Scientology adjacent stuff, I'm just kind of like, this guy sounds like a mental case. I don't really know how his fiction would come across. You know, I don't know.
I actually liked the movie Battlefield Earth. I thought it was entertaining.
It's terrible.
I thought it was entertaining. I thought it was hilarious.
Well, a lot of people think it's so terrible that it's hilarious.
Yeah, fucking the damn, what they called them? Not the Cylons, the fucking shit. I forgot what they called them. The Cyclos.
There you go.
The Cyclos, yeah. And then they had
I can't
fucking.
even remember.
Yeah, they had. They were all interested in fucking how much profit they were gonna make. Fucking all the little corporate fucking rules. It could have been a lot better. I mean, there were some things about it that didn't really work. All right, I think it could have been fixed. To me, it just wasn't believable. Well, they did have the learning machines that you could get in there and it would suck that, would blow shit into your eyes and you could learn very quickly. But they basically took a bunch of cavemen, and then before you know it, they're flying jets that they found, you know what I mean, in underground storage that have been down there for thousands of years or hundreds of years. That's not how jets work, man. You just can't have a jet sit around for 100 years and, oh yeah, we'll fly it tomorrow.
Well, any kind of vehicle.
No vehicle.
That's not going to work.
You can't even do it with a car.
No.
The fucking tires would be rotting off. Just go look at an abandoned car that's been in somebody's garage.
Yeah, see how far you get with that.
You're not going nowhere with that thing. It's just fucking, it's looks like an abandoned car, even though it's been indoors. They just decay, you know. And jet aircraft is far more fragile. You know, they're just not really made of anything, lightweight materials and a lot of fuel injection shit, and they're just no. You're not going to really preserve that for very long. They got to work on those things constantly to keep them running. So
yeah, it's like it's a machine.
Yeah.
Shit breaks down.
Yeah.
Everything does.
And machines don't like to just sit there.
Right.
Yeah.
Zach says, hey guys. Hey, Zach. Yeah. Jenny, what's the worst book you've ever read? Gosh. Okay. I'm sure I've read like a lot of shitty ones. Okay, I can think of two. I remember one, I don't know if it was the worst written book I've ever read, but it was the one that made me the maddest. And that was Son of Rosemary by R11, which was the sequel to Rosemary's Baby. I love R11. He wrote The Stepford Wives. He wrote A Kiss Before Dying. He's an amazing, amazing writer. However, this book, when I got to the end, I threw it across the room. And I don't usually do that. I'm like, really, Ira? Really? That's where you're like, you can't even like, oh my God. I'm not going to spoil it in case you want to read it, but I don't know. It just made me really angry. More recently, I think I talked about this on my Tomes of Terror show because I bought a book at a used bookstore, like a brand new, like pretty much brand new hardback. And I was like, oh, I've kind of heard of this book. So I bought it. It was only like a couple of bucks. And I said, oh, I can review this for my show. And then I started reading it and I'm like, this is some Christian horror, isn't it? And I was like, oh. And then I was like, oh, well, okay. I'll kind of like try to stick it out. But I got like a little more way in there and I was just kind of like, no, I'm just not wasting my time with this. And that was Monster by Frank Peretti. I was just kind of like, it's a Bigfoot story.
Yeah.
But it's essentially, it's creationist propaganda is what it is.
Right.
And I kind of saw that it was going in that direction because I used to read a lot about creationism, like from, the atheist, the skeptic standpoint. So I know what their little tropes are and I know what their little tricks are. So a couple like little plot or a couple little characters turn up in this book and I'm just like, oh, this is going that way, isn't it? And then like it went full on that way, like where this guy is just like, what? I don't even remember if he said it's, if evolution is true, why are there still monkeys? You know what I mean? But it was like that level of dumb. And I was just kind of like, you know what? I just can't anymore with this. So I'm like, so you're essentially making a monster thing about Bigfoot, who everybody thinks is a bad guy at first, but you're using Bigfoot to like prove creationism is true? Yeah. I'm just like, no. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Other people can read that if they want to, but I'm not wasting my time with it. You know what I mean? It's like there's millions of good books out there that I could be reading. A couple of which one of which I read yesterday, but I'm not putting the review of it up until probably second week of December.
Yeah, the whole monkeys are still here argument. That's amazing when you think about it. Well, if evolution's real, then why are the monkeys still here? Yeah, that one always got me. I was like, no, we didn't come from those monkeys, dude.
They don't understand. And then it's like, and then they're all smug about it. Like they're like, checkmate. And I'm like, do you not understand how natural selection works or how things are like branched off from...
Well, they don't understand what common ancestry means.
No, they really don't. And it's just, and it's funny to me that they're that stupid, but they don't like realize that they're that stupid, that like something that transparently dumb could like fool them.
Well, no one's explained to them what common ancestry means. I have explained to them what common ancestry means.
I don't think they want to know.
Yeah, they don't really want to know.
They don't want to know. Yeah. That's why, honestly, like a long time ago, because like I said, I used to be really into, I read a lot of books about evolution and stuff like that, and I read a lot of books about, because there was a time when creationists were trying to like shove their shit into like, public school science classes and stuff, and succeeded in a couple instances. And so I was kind of like really interested in that. So I kept like reading a lot about it. And it's like, I kind of got to a point where I just think they want to believe creationism is true. And they'll come out and say, well, just, give me proof. But you can give them proof until you're blue in the fucking face. And they just won't listen to it. They'll come up with some reason why that's not real or that's not true or something. They just want to believe that. And I was like, I don't think... And I'm not saying that everybody, that they all can't be reached. It's just that I don't think they want to be reached. I think they have to like come to shit on their own. Arguing with them is not gonna make them change their mind because they don't want to.
What's funny is that fucking the Bible doesn't come out and say that creationism is true either.
No, it doesn't.
No. It gives two different Genesis stories. So, and the orders are different in both of them. So, it's definitely not talking about creationism. Not in the way that they think of it.
Well,
it's poetry. It's definitely poetry.
Yeah, and the thing about it is that, I mean, you can tell that the Bible stories are vague because look at all of just the Christian denominations that all believe something different but can all point to something in Scripture that seems to back up their beliefs. So I was like, well, that should tell you something right there. That, you know, that it's kind of vague and can sort of be massaged to say kind of whatever you want it to say. Largely,
the Old Testament stuff from Genesis, it's basically Sumerian. It's borrowing from the Epic of Gilgamesh, and it was never supposed to be a scientific explanation. It was just a fucking poetic explanation of how the gods made man, and how they made the earth, and then the Great Flood. That's the people that read that were not thinking in terms of like, well, how did we evolve? They're not really thinking that way.
No.
They're, so you're forcing that literature to deliver on, to cash a check that the authors never intended to fucking, that was, the authors were not writing that check, and you're trying to cash in on it. That's not what they were talking about.
Well, that's why I kind of think a lot of religion is kind of like you come to a conclusion of what you want to believe, and then you'll like kind of just pick and choose what you want that seems to like back that up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, people that are like creationists, they want to be or they were raised to be that and they don't know any better. Those people, you can kind of reach them because if you actually like talk sense to them, sometimes they can come out of it. But people that want to believe that, there's really nothing you can tell them that will convince them otherwise until they kind of come to their own realization that it doesn't make any sense. You know,
to me, you read Genesis, it's obviously a story.
Yeah.
It's a story.
And there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah. It's a good story.
Yeah, it's just a story. They're not trying to impart to you any kind of special scientific knowledge about how man arose from the animals, or that's not at all.
They weren't thinking that far ahead, like I don't think.
No, they're just telling you a story. That's all.
Danny Rolling Ghostface says Clive Barker's book Cabal is a good read. Yes, it is. I haven't read it in a long time. Honestly, all of Clive Barker's shit is really good. I really, really liked Weave World. I really liked Cold Heart Canyon. And his books of blood were amazing. Honestly, his books of blood, I read those when I was, I couldn't have been that old. 13 years old, 14 years old. And that I had read Stephen King prior to that and like other classics and stuff, but reading the books of blood, that's what made me want to be a horror writer. I'm like, this dude is amazing. I'm like, things like, look at this shit he's come up with. It's so nasty and like so weird. And I loved it. But all his books are good. Damnation Game is good too. I have that somewhere. I have a bunch of his books, but I haven't read Cabal in a long time though. Let's see. Oracle says, I heard a great way of thinking about it. The Bible is a bunch of stories told by people trying to recount history, but through the lens of what they thought. Yeah.
Kinda.
That's,
Kinda. Although it's not history as you know it. Most of it is an explanation of what happened to certain gods. You see, a lot of the gods that they were worshiping before Judaism, they've all been kind of like creatively rewritten and rebooted as characters in the Bible. Like, for instance, Isham. Isham, he's this hairy guy, you know what I mean, with red hair and hair on his back, and he does some shit. But if you actually read the story, Isham is based upon one of the earlier versions of one of their sun gods. That's what they're talking about. The sun rays and being red. And it's because the authors are trying to honor their ancestral gods and reboot a new religion. So what do you do with the old gods? You just don't talk about them? No, you recast them as angels or demigods or Nephilim and say, oh yeah, they existed, but they're not real gods. They're just the Nephilim. You know, they're just angels, that type of stuff. So that's mostly what they're doing. And they're not rebooting real history. They're rebooting the old religious stories of the past into something that new people can accept.
Badass Domain says, would you guys do a show about the Book of Revelation?
I think we did one, didn't we?
Did we? If we didn't, we should, because that would be really fun.
Yeah.
As Black House is good. That's half Stephen King and half... Oh, don't you do it. It's going red again. No,
it'll go red, but it'll still hear us because sometimes we can...
sometimes. I think we were having problems on Wednesday where it would it would go... Okay, it's back. Yeah, that's Black House is the book it's the sequel to The Talisman, and it's half Stephen King, half Peter Straub.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I remember I didn't love The Talisman. Like I said, I've read a lot of his, like, Stephen King's more fantasy stuff. Like, I read the first Dark Tower, I read Eyes of the Dragon, but I like his more grounded horror more than the fantasy, I think. Because I'm more a horror person. I'm not really a big fantasy person or a big sci-fi person. Sometimes if it's, like, the crossover's cool, like, I'll be into it but I usually love, like, just horror shit. And Camp Guy said, read a lot of King, but not so much Peter Straub. Peter Straub's ghost story is excellent. And I also really liked his book, Julia, which The Haunting of Julia was based on, the movie, which was called Full Circle in the UK. It's just like a ghost story. And some of his other stuff, like I have a book of his... Like, his short stories are really good. I have a short story compilation called Houses Without Doors that's really good. And, what's the other one? Lost Boy, Lost Girl is really good. I just recently did a review on the Hellfire Club, which I remember liking a lot, but the second time I read it, I didn't like it as much. So Peter Straub is an excellent writer, but he's very hit or miss for me. You know, some of his books I think are amazing, and then some of them I'm just kind of like, Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's that kind of thing.
Another reason why I'm saying that religion is not a retelling of history is because if you look at the characters, they're retelling each other. For instance, Moses and Jesus have the same birth story, same birth narrative. They're both running from a despotic tyrant, or their parents are running from a despotic tyrant who's trying to wipe out the firstborn or the newborn children in the area, so they have to be taken to safety, and then eventually they become kings. That's the same. Jesus and Moses have that same story. You know, hiding up in Bethlehem or whatever, born in a manger because fucking Herod was trying to fucking kill all the firstborn. Well, that was the same thing that happened to Moses. It was a pharaoh trying to kill off the firstborn, and you know, its mother throws him in the damn, not a manger, but a little basket, and fucking goes down the Nile, and a princess finds him, and he ends up becoming basically a king of the Jews in the way. They both do. So, no, they're not retelling anything historical. They're rebooting gods. Jesus is a reboot of Moses, a lawgiver. It's just that one was more Jewish, the new one is more Roman. But it's the same thing. Same. Jesus is a retelling of Moses. So and neither one's history. Yeah. Neither one of those guys lived.
Well, yeah, there's just stories. They're just, you know. Right.
That really fucks a lot of people up. That fucked me up for a while. I thought that Jesus was a historical person that they wrote stories about, and deified him. Nah. No, it's very unlikely. It's a lot more likely that there never was a Jesus. That they have rebooted Moses as a holy man from the past, because there was some, you know, even they're not even quite sure when we're talking about. There were some older versions of these gospel stories where he may have supposedly been born about 60 years before. They ended up claiming that he was born around the time of fucking, what's his name? Pontius Pilate putting him to death, so you know he's about 30 at that time. So his birth date changed a couple times in the history of Christianity. And then after the 4th century, he was pretty much put in the time of Pilate. But there's no way. No, he didn't live during the time of Pilate. Bullshit. And whoever wrote those stories didn't have a real good understanding of history and didn't really know the geography much, you know. They're just making up a story about a holy man from the past down in Judea, you know. And there's
back in the day.
Back in the day. He was killed on the day of the Passover. More Moses references. Okay. They executed him on Passover. And then on the Passover, they do the Jewish blood ritual of scapegoating, where they let the evil goat go, but the good lamb is sacrificed. Well, that's the same letting fucking Barabbas go and then sacrificing Jesus, and his blood washes your sins away. That's the same. That's scapegoat ritual on Passover. So no, this didn't happen. No.
Yeah, it's like fanfic.
Yeah, it's magic.
Yeah.
It's Jewish blood magic. That's what it is. They're not talking about a historical event at all. This is a spiritual thing, like a play. Maybe they enacted this out on stage at certain times. Or you're supposed to imagine it. And if you accept that sacrifice, your sin is washed away. That's the same as the fucking scapegoat ritual. You're in the thing, they're killing the goat, they're killing the lamb, they've let the fucking goat away, you've chased that over the hill and killed it, and then they kill the fucking lamb, and its blood washes away your tribe's sins. If you see it. You have to see it and accept it. That's Jesus. That's what they're talking about. So no, don't for one second think that those were real people. They were not. This is mythology. Just like fucking Dionysus, and just like Mercury, and just like Jupiter, and the other Roman gods. That's exactly what it is. It's a Jewish version of a Roman god, because so many Jews moved into Rome in that period, and they didn't want to worship these hillbilly religions and Moses and shit. They wanted a new metropolitan Roman version of it, and so they made up Jesus, and Jesus was one of God's sons. There was the angel of Jesus, and angel Jesus. And that was one of the 72 angels during the time of Genesis, you know, and fucking Israel chose Yahweh, and fucking don't fucking worship Molech. And there was another one named Jesus. They know that there was one called Jesus. So that's what they're talking about. The angel of Jesus, an angel Jesus. He was an angel, born through a woman, which, wait a minute, hold on, what are you talking about? Born of woman? They keep saying born of woman. Well, why would they keep saying that? Because he wasn't born of a woman. You don't have to say that. Tom, born of woman. Come on. Jenny, born of woman. Nobody says that.
I don't know about you, but I came out of a pumpkin
Everybody's
patch.
born of a woman. They're saying that because they're claiming that Jesus was born of a woman. Or it'd be like saying Gabriel, the angel Gabriel, born of a woman. That's what they're saying. Okay. That's my Jesus rant.
Yeah. it was a rant.
It's a rant. I think it's an educational rant.
Yeah.
It's just a different way of looking at it. You're looking at it through modern eyes. You're not looking at it through the eyes that they had in the second, third, and fourth century. They didn't see it the same way you did. It wasn't a fully formed religion back then.
John Smith says, I love Poppy Z. Bright as a horror author. I do as well. They're not writing anymore. They're trans. They go by Billy Martin now. But yeah, Lost Souls was great. Exquisite Corpse is great. Really fucked up. That was actually one of the most fucked up books I ever read. So fucking gory. Liquor, which was a later one, which actually wasn't horror exactly. But yeah, it's like... That was one of the first times that I actually read some stuff. You know, it was Poppy Z. Bright, Caitlin Kiernan, people like that were actually writing about the goth scene back then, like in New Orleans and stuff. And there wasn't a lot of that in mainstream fiction. So I think Lost Souls was the first book that I read like that. And I'm like, holy fucking crap. This is just like, this is just like people I know. It was like really weird. Camp Guy then says, Best King short stories. My Pretty Pony, Dedication, Donovan's Cadillac, and Apt Pupil. Yeah, Apt Pupil is great. I really, really like, I mean, I like a lot of Stephen King's novels too, but he doesn't get enough credit for his short fiction, I don't think. I mean, I read, what the fuck? Night Shift, that one book that has Quitters Inc. and it has like a whole bunch of his kind of famous short stories in it. And I read that so many times that the fucking cover fell off. I mean, those stories were like so good. Straw Dog 78 says, I prefer his Bachman books, like The Long Walk. Yeah, one of my favorite books of all time. That is so fucking great. Honestly, the Bachman books are like really, really good. That's the one that had, what was the movie we were just talking about? The Running Man. That was the one that had the Running Man in it. And Rage, which, you know, that was kind of like prescient, wasn't it? Because that was kind of like about a school shooter. And he wrote that like way back in the old days. Peggy, hi Jenny and Tom. How do you like your new house? Happy American Thanksgiving. Greetings from Canada. Yeah, because Canada, y'all's Thanksgiving is in October, isn't it?
Like it enough to buy it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll buy it. I'm going to buy it.
We're just going to buy it because we want to like paint it.
Paint it, and I don't want to lose equity in a damn house.
Yeah.
Because I'll be here for at least a couple of years, so...
Yeah, because
might as well buy it.
It's a nice place.
It's a nice place.
It's a nice neighborhood.
Yeah.
Nice and quiet. Most of the time.
Yeah.
Other than that one guy with his loud stereo.
Yeah.
And earlier today, when you were gone, I heard gunshots.
Yeah.
But that's all. I mean, it's rural around here, so it's not like.
Yeah, the law is that you can shoot as long as you have 1 acre on which to shoot.
Mm.
So we're not in what's called a city limit per se. We're in on the land, so you can shoot here. This whole fucking garden, around the base of this whole house, where there's these little gardens that this guy had made. It's instead of wood chips, it's all fucking 5.56 and 9mm brass. They were in here fucking shooting all the time. But I don't know. They were just dumping their brass out. So if you're a reloader, you can come here and pick all this up, tumble it all, and reload it. Might do it. Who knows?
Yeah, because we don't have we have what, 3/4 of an acre?
About that, yeah.
I think it's 3/4 of an acre this lot.
Yeah.
It's a corner.
If you have an acre, you can shoot, but you gotta have a backstop and everything, But that's easy to build.
Yeah, it's like, well, and the thing about it is that we don't really have anything. I mean, it's 3/4 of an acre, which sounds like a lot, and it's a big lot, but there's still like houses. There's still a house right there, and there's a house behind us, and there's a house across the street, and there's nothing. I mean, it's open. There's nothing really in the way. We don't have like any privacy hedges or anything like that, which eventually we'll get, but.
It's weird, I was looked out the fucking side window the other day when I was working out and saw I guess there were 3 or 4 people. I don't know if it was girls. It was like a mixture of girls and guys driving the damn golf carts. It had lights on the golf carts, and they're obviously drinking. Driving the golf carts at night through the fucking.
Well, yeah, not much else to do around here.
And I saw them come back again, and they're looking and they're waving. Up in the window.
Woo! Maybe we should get a golf cart.
Drinking on the golf
and drive the golf
Drinking and driving on the golf carts.
I mean, I wouldn't normally be down with that, but there's really hardly any traffic around here.
This is the country.
There's like nothing around here. Yeah. I mean, there's houses, but it's not like,
It's not fast traffic.
No, it's
everybody's neighbors here. They don't care if you're drinking and driving here. In a golf cart.
Yeah, because there's kind of like, well, down that other street, there's like a lake and you can go fishing, and there's like a golf course and all that other kind of shit down there. Dermot says, Bram Stoker's Dracula, original Victorian format was a tough read for me, too archaic. I didn't have too much trouble with Dracula. I do like a lot of Victorian fiction, but for sure, some of them are way harder to follow than other ones. Depends on the writer. You know what's interesting? I didn't really have, and I don't remember if I talked about this when I was talking about Dan Simmons' book Drood when I reviewed it. But I found Wilkie Collins, who was also a Victorian writer. He usually wrote like mystery type stuff. Like he wrote The Woman in White and The Moonstone. I found those pretty easy to get through. I don't know if that's just me or his diction was a lot more modern than other people at the time. Because honestly, I don't have too much problem. I like a lot of that Victorian era, like Gothic literature and stuff. But some writers were kind of like a little more, I don't know, prolix, a little more verbose. Yeah. And some of them were a little more, you know, a little more stripped down, like, and it seemed a little more modern to me.
Graham says, I built my own backstop out of 2x4s and filled it with compressed hay from Tractor Supply. Yeah. I was looking at that brass down there the other day and I was thinking about reloading again. I don't have any of my reloading supplies anymore. They're all at my dad's house. And when he passes, maybe I'll inherit it. We'll see. I mean, probably, you know, I have to go down there and pick it up unless he's giving it away to some of his friends. But, yeah, I haven't reloaded in a long time. I used to love reloading. You'd get fucking lost in that shit. I used to reload 45, 9mm. I used to fucking reload 32 ACP. You'd be like, what? People don't realize how expensive 32 ACP was. You know, it was more expensive than 9mm at the time. And I had a Colt 03 pocket hammerless that was just a fucking tack driver. And it was like 95% quality. It was like a showpiece, man. And it was from a 1930s manufacturer. And that thing was so fucking sweet. I used to load up 32 ACP lead semi-wad cutters. And you could just put them all in one single fucking hole. And that was just a factory gun. The factory fucking Colt pocket pistol from the 30s. Just something they used to just pump them out. And they were better than fucking any modern target pistol. They were beautiful. Just the perfect size. Little narrow, slim, skinny little 32 and little pop gun. They were kind of like the 9mm of the day. Just handy little things. But I used to love reloading, and it was kind of relaxing. Remember one time I loaded up about 1,000 rounds of 45, all that fucking lead and shit, and fucked up. I forgot I had a whole loading block full of fucking primed brass, and I was going through and I was charging them all with a fucking powder measure, and I forgot to charge one of the fucking loading blocks. I had 50 rounds of fucking dummy rounds just with fucking primers in them. And mixed in with damn near 1,000 rounds of fucking 45. So you couldn't shoot it out. You couldn't throw it away. You had to shoot it. Fuck, man. And out of that 1,000 rounds, you had to fucking hit those fucking 50 rounds that were dead. And it would fucking throw the bullet fucking down in through past the chamber. A lot of times you detect it. Sometimes you wouldn't. You just go click. And you go, what the fuck? Pull the fucking slide to the rear. You'd eject the empty case and you'd look in there and the bullet would be wedged right in the fucking, about an inch down the barrel. Fucking pain in the ass. But, yeah, those are the days, man. Maybe I ought to get back into that shit.
Thank you, Camp Guy. Send us a super chat. Love the podcast. Perfect for me, like walking into a bar and hanging with my buddies.
Yeah.
That's good. That's kind of what
that was the idea.
That's kind of what we wanted. Yeah, John Smith said, yep, I got into Poppy Z. Bright thinking he was going to be like Anne Rice. I was wrong. Yeah. Really not like Anne Rice. I mean, the only thing that's similar is, like, the New Orleans setting. Other than that, like, all Poppy Z. Bright stuff is, like, super, super scuzzy. And honestly, if I'm remembering it correctly, Exquisite Corpse was loosely based on Jeffrey Dahmer and somebody else. So there was, like, a lot of really gross, like... So it was almost like a weird... love story kind of between like two serial killer cannibals, and it was like really fucked up. It was one of the most messed up things I ever read. It was like so disgusting, and that's like saying something coming from me. Yeah, Camp Guy says all the King short stories are great. There are about 3 or 4 full-size books of just short stories. Yeah, honestly, like I said, I don't know. I feel like a lot of people talk about his novels, which are also good, but his short stories are so good. I mean, I don't know.
Graham, I might do something like that, but I don't know about the backdrop. I think I'm going to do something kind of spiritual with some lights and shit. Fucking, we'll see. I don't know. I don't know if I don't want it to be fucking focused on one subject, my channel, my show. I want it to be a good general channel. It'll have a lot of cool shit on it. We'll see.
Mr. Roboto shows up and says hi to everybody. So hi, Mr. Roboto. Now that Thanksgiving is over, Tom, Jenny, you ready for a Black Christmas?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We already put our Christmas lights out, which we do the lazy Christmas lights, which are just like the projection ones. We have, what do we even have? Is it snowflakes?
No.
Or peppermint thingies?
One of them is green and red laser display. Looks like it just looks like snowflakes. And
yeah,
the other one,
that's what I said.
The other one is a big what do you call it? A projection of a cartoon Santa Claus face.
Oh, Santa Claus face.
With,
oh yeah, I forgot.
Some, I think, snowflakes moving around it. I think.
I thought we had something that was like little peppermint wheels or something. We need to get some more of those. We only have 2 of them. And it's kind of like, I mean, the front of the house is kind of big, so we need to kind of get a few more.
We could use to get another one. We can get another one.
Everybody put their Christmas decorations out already, last week. They're like way ahead.
I need to get a damn GoPro so I can hook it up to my helmet. I'll ride through here and we'll put it on the show.
Yeah, you could. Well, you could glue my phone to your helmet.
I'll get a decent GoPro.
Yeah, I don't. You could probably get one for not
about $100.
You should have got one today on Black Friday.
Yeah, you can get one about.
Oh, you can wait till Cyber Monday.
Yeah.
Where they're supposed to have all the deals online.
I got a lot of shit we got to fucking buy over the next couple months, though.
No shit, man, and I am so broke.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it's like not even funny. It's like
I spent nearly $40, I think, just on fucking bar tab today, with including the tip. So.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I have money though, but.
Not me.
It just kind of one drink went into the next, and I realized those things were fucking $7 a drink,
Well, that's pretty standard. I mean, for a mixed drink. I mean,
Yeah.
Is that a single or a double?
It's a single.
Oh yeah, that's that's about right. Most bars charge about $7.
They were Patron fucking sunrises.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oscar Perez is talking about exquisite corpses, vile, all shock value, no substance. Yeah, it's not for the squeamish, that's for sure. I have it. I haven't read it in a long time. I remember reading it a long time ago and being like, man, this is fucked up.
It's not 80 degrees in Florida right now.
It's 70. What is it?
Maybe 70, 71.
Honestly,
72.
the last few days, cool. It's been cool. Yeah. Like one day it was in the 50s, which was kind of nice, and we had the windows open.
Yep.
Pookie was very excited.
Yeah, she's like, whoa.
She was like sitting on the thing, looking out the screen.
Yeah.
Like, wow. And there was like a little breeze and everything. But it's mostly in the 70s, so yeah, you could totally get away with wearing shorts still. Let's see. Oh, Camp Guy also brings up A Rose for Emily. That is a great short story if you've never read that. Yeah, it's online. So go read it. If you're into like Southern Gothic stuff. Yeah, Faulkner. Honestly, anything like that. I'm a big fan of like Flannery O'Connor as well. So read some of her stuff as well, because that's like really kick-ass. Mr. Roboto says, doesn't that display drive cats crazy?
No, they love it.
Honestly, we have like all these colored lights in here. Like you can see them like behind there, and I just mostly just leave these on all the time because it's a pain in the ass to like turn them off and on.
Yeah. And
sometimes if you turn them off, they turn on and it's like a different color or it's doing some crazy shit.
We have the little sunbursts that fucking shine up on the walls at night, green and light blue, and they love that shit. If you put up a new one, Pookie will go over and sit down next to it
and just like look at it
and like bathe in the light, like got a new light. And we're hitting the house with these laser beams, and through the main or above the main door, there's a big window, and some of the lasers come in and they hit the staircase and up on the ceilings, and Pookie sits up there and just looks at them, Yay! They know what holiday lights are.
Yeah, she doesn't really try to like. She doesn't really try to like jump on them.
No.
Although we did used to have a laser pointer.
Yeah, she'd run after that.
And she'd run after that. Yeah. But the ones in the house, I guess she's so used to us having
colored lights.
Like colored lights on all the time that she's just kind of like, oh, it's another one of these. Yeah. And I'm not entirely sure how Kat's vision like perceives that.
Yeah.
Like, can they see it? Is it all white to them? Is it all gray to them? I don't really know.
I think they see that they move.
Yeah.
They do see in color.
Yeah, I thought they did.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that...
She'll get right into a light beam and lay down in it.
Yeah, she just kind of likes to...
Yeah.
Kind of sit there with like little green light washing over her, little blue light.
Yeah.
She's the weirdest cat ever.
Yeah. It's like it's splashing on her.
Yeah. I don't know why she likes it so much. It's not warm or anything, so I don't really know. She just thinks it's neat.
Yeah.
Oscar Perez says, Jenny, read The Wide Carnivorous Sky by John Langham, author of The Fisherman. I've seen a lot of people recommend The Fisherman, but I haven't got around to reading any John Langham yet. But I will, I promise. Honestly, like I said, I've been reading a lot of stuff on, what do you call it? Kindle Unlimited. And the last two that I read, I really, really liked. Like, I did reviews for them, which I recorded already, but they won't go up until later, like the first couple of weeks of December. But one of them that I read was called, what was it called? Autumn Bleeds into Winter. And that was really, really good. And then I read The Whisper Man, which was like a thriller. And that was also excellent. So I did reviews of both of those. Midwest Outlaw 420 says, we need a modern, non-musical Phantom of the Opera and Creature from the Black Lagoon. Honestly, I kind of feel like the poor Creature from the Black Lagoon doesn't get any love, man. Look at all of the movies they made about Dracula and Frankenstein's monster and the Mummy and stuff like that, but like Creature from the Black Lagoon, just me. And Wolfman.
The Gill Man.
Yeah, they don't do really much with the Gill Man. The Gill Man's so cool. I mean, honestly, the last thing... You know, they did Monster Squad, which I reviewed like Halloween week. And the Gill Man in that one is like really kick-ass. He like looks really good. But even in that movie, like the Gill Man's he's barely in it. Even though he has the best makeup in the movie. I mean, he looks the coolest of all. The Mummy's cool too. But the Gill Man looks the best, but he's like in it the least. Ew. Which is kind of a shame.
I keep yawning.
Oh, sorry. Are we boring you?
No, I'm just getting sick. I'm worried about that turkey down there, too.
Why are you worried about it?
Because I'm going to have to cut that turkey up. Half of it.
How much of it's left?
Half.
Half?
Half. Yeah.
I just, I had a turkey sandwich for lunch today.
Yeah.
Turkey sandwich, it was really good. Might have another one after the show, because you ate before the show, but I didn't. Well, I had a little piece of pumpkin bread before the show, because I didn't want my stomach to be completely empty.
We got so much stuff to eat. Oh my God.
I couldn't believe. Well, because you've been down there farting around for like 3 days.
Yeah.
Just cooking.
Yeah.
And doing stuff.
Yeah.
And I didn't really know what you were doing down there.
A lot of stuff.
So when it was all like laid out yesterday, I was like, holy fucking crap. Yeah. It's like this huge fucking turkey. You had like fucking cream corn. You had fucking 2 different stuffings, a bunch of different gravies. You had like green bean casserole. You had mashed potatoes, you had beets, you had...
2 different kinds of pies.
2 different kinds of pies.
3 different kinds of pies.
You had like sweet potatoes with pecans in them.
I didn't like how those turned out.
And it was so much stuff. I haven't had any of the pie yet. I haven't even eaten. I couldn't... Yesterday I ate 1 plate and then I was like, okay, I'll eat a tiny bit more because I just wanted some more turkey. Then I was like, okay, and then like I couldn't like eat anymore. And... Then I just went and kind of laid down and watched some MST and read a book for a while. And then later I had a little bit more, but man, my stomach was really hurting this morning. It really was. But yeah, I haven't even had any pie. I haven't even pumpkin pie. I don't even think we've cut the pumpkin pie yet, have we? We cut the pecan pie. I had a piece of that, but I had a piece of that like before Thanksgiving.
Oh shit, you got the lights on in that thing.
What are you doing?
Oh, we want to turn the fan on.
Well, you can turn the light on and then turn the light off in the middle. That's kind of what you're doing.
Yeah, I mean, you don't understand how hot it is for me.
Okay. Yeah, you and all your problems.
Yeah. Fucking fan on.
Gramthars Hammer. To Build a Fire is a great story. Yeah, that's Jack London. I remember that one. We read that one in school. Poor bastard has 1 match, finally gets a fire going at a pine tree, then stands up in excitement, bumps a branch, and the snow falls on his fire. Nature says, fuck you! That's what happens. Midwest Outlaw 420 says, the new Wolfman from 2010 was shite. Wait, did I see that? Was that the one with Benicio del Toro? Or was that... No, that was earlier than that. It had to have been. I remember seeing a Wolfman movie with Benicio del Toro in it, who I was like, oh, that's good casting. He's very Wolfman-y, in a foxy kind of way. And I remember seeing that in the theater, but I kind of feel like that one was earlier. Shit, man. I don't know. Yeah, he said, yeah, that was that one. All right. For some reason, I thought that one was earlier. Huh. I remember it being okay, but I don't remember hardly anything about it, now that I'm thinking about it. You know what I'm saying? So I need to go to the bathroom, so you should probably talk. I don't know why you're having such a hard time talking today.
I'm having a hard time talking?
Yeah.
What means you guys having a hard time talking?
Well, because you're just like sitting there like you're...
No, because you keep talking. I don't want to interrupt you. See, that's the thing. If I interrupt her, then she's like, why you interrupting me? I'm just going to let her talk. You know. That's how women are. You can't win. Yeah, Tom's not drinking. We talking about, man, I've been drinking all day. I was fucking drinking at the fucking bar. Okay, Tammy says, said I tried the Brazilian cream corn from the cookbook and everyone loved it. Yeah, I told you. It's a very different kind of cream corn, isn't it? That's real cream corn. It's not American cream corn is when you just take corn and you just kind of puree it a little bit. Nah, Brazilians will take a whole kernel corn and add a cream sauce to it. It's the best. It's the best. It's far superior to American cream corn. I mean, tell me more about that, Tammy. What'd they say about it? I'm happy to hear that. I fucking love it. Yeah, Patron's the best tequila. I was drinking Patron. Patron Silver. It's good shit. Tammy said that she made the Brazilian cream style corn from the cookbook, and everybody loved it. She made
we made that. He made that too.
Yeah, it's easy to make too, but it's just fucking fantastic.
I mean, it's mostly like cream with some corn in it.
No,
it's mostly
it's half and half.
It's mostly corn.
It's mostly corn.
Yeah,
Just
I had a bunch of
cream.
that for lunch today. It was really good. Mm-hmm.
It's kind of sweet. Yeah.
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 I mean, we make that kind of like every year. It's what I don't know. It's kind of like I feel like cream corn, at least from a traditional American point of view, is kind of a weird Thanksgiving side dish.
Yeah.
But
not when you see my cream corn.
Yeah, but
Just
we make.
Google
Yeah, he makes it every year.
Just Google Brazilian cream style. Google Brazilian cream corn. They call it fucking creme de milho, cream corn, creme de milho.
Camp Guy said, Thanksgiving reminds me my grandmother's house and her dishwasher. You could move it around in the kitchen and hooked it up to the kitchen sink.
I remember those.
I remember. I didn't know anybody that had one, but I remember.
They were old. That was some old school shit.
Yeah, that was old school shit. That's like fucking funny to think about.
Jinx says Mexico tequila has a worm at the bottom. You eat it and they finish it. Okay, no. You got that wrong, bro. that is actually a fucking a misunderstanding. The stuff that had a worm in the bottom of it was one of the brands of Mexican mezcal. But not all mezcal had that. Tequila originally never had that until white people started fucking asking for it. And the Mexicans are like, wherever the tequila? All right, here, take it. But no. Fucking worm.
Here, dumbass.
Yeah, that's some dumbass bullshit. The worm was out of a particular brand of mezcal. And mezcal has nothing to do with tequila. It's more like a beer.
I could never get into tequila.
Yeah.
I don't mind the odd sunrise every now and then, depending on what kind of tequila it is. But I don't know. I have to be in the right mood.
Tequila's not made out of mezcal. It's made out of agave. Mezcal's made out of mezcal leaves. Like a cactus. Fermented cactus type thing.
DJ Maniac says, good thing white people didn't start asking for human toes like that one bar up in Canada.
Dink says, I bought it in Virginia. Thanks for the clarification. I believed it for years. Yeah, that you can find tequila with a worm in it, but that's for gringos, man. That's tourist shit.
Well, to me, that seems like a really good. That seems like a really good troll.
Yeah, they're trolling you.
Is just kind of like, let's make them think that this is the authentic Mexican experience. Yeah, you have to eat the worm when you get to the bottom.
Right. They're trolling.
Dumbass white people.
Yeah. Yeah.
That would be super funny.
I think that happened back in the 70s when you had a lot of white people just fucking going from Southern California into Tijuana back in the 70s. They would do this shit on a lark, like, let's go to Tijuana. It's like a joke, you know what I mean? We'll go down there, we'll fucking watch a donkey show and get drunk or some shit.
Yeah, like I said, watch some chick, like, shoot ping pong balls at her pussy.
Yeah, you know, we'll spend $20. It'll be great. And I think somebody ran across mezcal and saw that and mistook it for tequila. Got them confused. Conflated the two. And it started a big fucking rumor up in Southern California that tequila had a worm in it. It never had a worm in it. You don't believe me? Check Google. You'll see. The whole tequila and the worm thing is bullshit.
And it's funny because that's really kind of cemented in the culture at this point, isn't it? I kind of feel like.
Now, some people reported that you could find, after all that shit, that you could start finding bottles of tequila with the worm in it, but that's Mexicans making that shit. Put a worm in the bottle, man. Sell it to that gringo.
Let's see if he'll eat it. He ate it. He ate it.
And then for all you know, they might have said, well, let's make a $100 version of that. Make a high class version of that. Eat that. Because, you know, companies will go where the market demand is.
Well, yeah.
A gringo would fucking buy that shit. A Mexican wouldn't. That's like, what? Give me some of that Milagro. Yeah, they just fucking drink. They'll mix silver, but, you know, silver tequila is the Mexican version of vodka. They'll mix that. But gold or reposado, they don't mix that. You can, but you're not supposed to.
That's the good shit. That's like the aged stuff.
Yeah.
Right?
That's like scotch to them.
Yeah.
They don't mix that. They're definitely not going to put a worm in it.
Yeah, why would you want to do that?
Yeah.
You know, it's funny. I had a friend, this was years ago, who went to Mexico, probably Tijuana, and came back and brought me a tequila-flavored lollipop that for some reason had a scorpion suspended in it.
Yeah.
And in a way, I was like, one, I'm not going to eat this, and two, why would you do that to the poor scorpion?
You can eat scorpions like that.
I'm not going to eat a scorpion.
I've seen scorpion candies and shit.
But I'm just like, to me, it just seemed kind of mean. I was kind of like, oh, poor guy.
Yeah.
He's like in a fucking lollipop now. That's like really sad.
Yeah. It sold though. Somebody bought it.
Well, yeah, she did because she gave it to me.
Mm-hmm. You're probably not never meant to eat it. It's probably just
well, yeah, it's just one of those things that's like a gag.
It's a gag, yeah.
It's like a gag gift. Yeah. I mean, there's a bunch of stuff that you can buy that's purportedly food.
Yeah.
But really, you're not supposed to eat it. We were in FYE the other day. Last time we went to the movies, and we got there really early because, like I said, our theater is at the Altamont Mall. So we went across to the mall, and we were in the food court. And sometimes, if we have time to kill before the movie, we'll go in FYE because it's right there by the food court. And they have this whole section they have like a shit ton of like Japanese snacks. They have like Pocky and they have all that kind of stuff in there. And they had, okay, what the fuck was it? Was it gummies? I kind of feel like it was gummies, but it was this big, huge box, and it looked like a bento box. Like it had all the kind of like sushi and all this other stuff, but it was all like gummy candy. Yeah. And it's like I almost see this is what I'm saying. It's like I almost wanted to buy it even though I don't even like gummy candy, and I wouldn't have eaten it. Because I just thought it was so neat and it like looked really cool. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. I like things that look like other things. Now, does that make any sense?
Bee's Nest goes to Mexico all the time. All right. He works over there. He says he still sees that they still sell the fucking worm in a bottle of tequila over there. He says he sees it. He says, I'll send you a picture of it. He says, I know they do, but go on the internet and go fucking do the research and you'll find out that is not a Mexican thing. That's evidently a gringo thing. They did that to sell it to fucking gringos. It didn't have a worm in it until fucking people from California started to ask for it because they believed it should have been in there. But
see, this is my suspicion
it's not
about
a Mexican thing.
Every culture that
Yeah.
has some like super gross ass food.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I always suspect that no one that's actually native to that culture would ever eat that in a million years.
Yeah.
But they always like just play it up
Make
because
other people eat
then
it.
when tourists come, they can make them eat it.
them
Like
eat it,
you're not like a real whoever, like a Finnish person or whatever,
Not a real-
until you eat this disgusting ass shit, and then they're just like, we would never eat that.
Eat this armadillo. It's like going to fucking Ireland and kissing the fucking Blarney Stone. Blarney means bullshit. Okay. All right. Kiss the Blarney Stone, and they're pissing on the Blarney Stone at night. Go down there and you're kissing the Blarney Stone. They were pissing on it.
Even if people weren't pissing on it, can you imagine all the fucking microbes on that shit
Yeah,
from
kiss
all
the
those
fucking
people's like
Blarney
fucking
Stone.
gross ass mouths on there?
Yeah.
No, thank you. No, thank you. Just saying, I don't even let Tom use my toothbrush, so I'm not gonna like go fucking lick some stone that's had all these fucking strangers' lips on it. Disgusting.
Kissing the Blarney Stone. Come down here to fucking Florida. Come kiss the fucking bullshit stone.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's a genius. Well, we have to think of like some other name for bullshit that still sounds kind of like bullshit, but is not bullshit.
Baloney.
No, that's too obvious. Too
Kissing
obvious.
the bologna stuff.
Kissing the bologna stuff. They're like, what? It tastes like bologna, or? Oh my god, that would be so fucking funny.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to think of this. I have to think of this.
They're Irish, man. Of course they're gonna do that. These fucking tourists coming up, they're going there. I'm gonna come see my ancestors, man. All your ancestors are dead. All right, fucking. You show up there and they're gonna fucking tell you a whole long story of Blarney, give you a whole 10-gallon hat full of Blarney, and then fool you into kissing this stone that somebody was pissing on the fucking day before.
Yeah, and they're always like,
And then they're laughing. Yeah, go ahead. Pay me some money for the tour. Yeah, okay.
they're like, look at, they paid me for the privilege.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I mean, you can see why they do that.
Of course.
Nobody likes tourists.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that like nobody should go anywhere ever that they're not from. It's just that there's people that are just like traveling, and then there's people that are like tourists.
Yeah.
And there's a difference between those two types of people. So, you know, like I said, I grew up in Daytona Beach. I've had my fair share of tourists, and too bad we didn't really have anything in Daytona that we could sort of, you know,
Tammy's
bullshit
saying,
people
yeah,
with.
they made them pay money to even kiss the stone.
Yeah.
They're Irish.
They're not going to let people do that for free.
Yeah, they're Irish, man. Fucking, I share fucking common ancestry with them. They're gonna fucking tell you a bunch of bullshit and get some money out of you, and then make you do something. It's like eating armadillo. Eat that armadillo.
Do you really want to be Southern?
Yeah,
Eat that shit.
Eat armadillo.
I've never eaten an armadillo. I would not eat an
I
armadillo
wouldn't
unless it was like a post-apocalyptic
My
situation.
uncle would eat them, and I was just like, dude.
It's like, come on. You realize it's the 21st century,
Yeah.
right? I mean, we have actual food.
They were eating that shit in the 60s and 70s, and so he's still eating fucking. It's all kinds of fucking funny shit. My fucking Southern fucking Cajun relatives would eat. Fucking. What was the other? Stuffed redfish. That was what Uncle Punch would fucking eat. I called him Uncle Punch. He's not my real uncle. It's just that dudes that your dad grew up with are automatically your uncle.
Well, yeah. That's what... Well, it was too complicated
It's too
when you were a
complicated.
kid to
Right.
say, well, it's just like your dad's friend. He's not related to
right.
you.
Uncle Punch would eat fucking stuffed redfish. And he was catching redfish before they would blacken redfish and make them fucking famous. You could catch a redfish in Mississippi and Louisiana in that area, and it would be considered kind of like a garbage fish. Like, what is that thing? It's a redfish. What the fuck is a redfish? They don't have redfish in the restaurants. I said, well, not yet. Well, he was right. Eventually, they had fucking redfish, blackened redfish, and blackened catfish. That's fucking Cajun as shit. Even though Paul Prudhomme and fucking, it's not as Cajun as you think it is, but he would take a redfish and make stuffing. Kind of like, well, it was made out of crackers, but it was kind of like stuffing for crab. You know, like when you make stuffed crab?
Yeah.
It was like that.
Not gonna lie, I'd eat that. That's not gross.
He'd take stuffing for make a stuffed crab, and he'd have a redfish in there, just totally deboned and flaky fish in it and make fucking redfish stuffing. And then he'd take that stuff and stuff it inside of another redfish that had been not
like a turducken, but a
turducken,
but like a redfishin.
Redfish inside redfish. And
redfishception.
Yeah, the redfish is only that thick, you know.
Yeah, I've caught some of those when I was a kid.
They're only about that thick and they're about that big, you know. So he'd stuff these redfish and fucking with it. He'd deep fry them and shit.
That's probably good. What are you laughing at that for?
It was good. He'd deep fry them, but he'd come out and
that sounds delicious.
It was like a motherfucking football. And
nothing wrong with that.
And he'd have these two things that look like two footballs on his fucking plate with his feet up like that, fucking flip flops on his watching TV. This is like back in the early 80s and shit, you know. And he'd fucking pour a whole bunch of cocktail sauce. You know, you take
that sounds good.
Ketchup.
You need to make me that.
Yeah, ketchup with horseradish in it and a little bit of lemon, and he'd be pouring that on there. And he'd, oh man.
That sounds delicious.
Oh man, it's just funny, you know, just funny. Stuffed cat. What is that, Uncle Punch? Stuffed redfish. They all sound like that. No, I'm gonna do Uncle Punch. That was more like my dad.
Yeah.
It's a stuffed redfish. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Stuffed redfish. You never heard of a stuffed redfish? Okay. And you know who Uncle Punch looked like? He looked just like AJ. He looked just like Alex Jones. That's what Uncle Punch looked like. Except he was bald. Well, Alex Jones is bald though, now too. But he had like a big bald spot. That's what Uncle Punch looked like. It's just fucking funny. Fishing in the Gulf of Mexico with him, and my dad, fucking, the boat was fucking going up and down. I was about fucking 13 or 14. I was getting sick as fuck. And I started throwing up over the side of the fucking boat. His cute ass daughter was with me too. She was fucking getting sick too. She was probably about 16. I was probably about 13. I was fucking throwing up over the side of the boat. Fucking Uncle Punch goes, Here you go, little Tommy. And he goes, eat your Nutter Bar. There's a Nutter Butter. And I'm make you feel better. It'll feel better coming back up. That's what he said. And I was like, so I was sitting there eating it.
Thinking ahead.
Man, I got seasick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't remember ever getting seasick. I haven't been out on a shit ton of boats, but I don't remember.
The boat was fucking going up and down.
Yeah.
I was doing it for hours. We're getting to where the good fish are. Yeah.
Stop puking on my boat.
Yeah. That's fucking funny.
But yeah, that stuffed redfish, that actually sounds delightful. That sounds like you could like elevate that shit. You could like charge. You could charge like hundreds of dollars for that.
It was just funny looking because he put every bit of stuffing he could probably possibly fucking fit in there.
Well, why not?
It was okay. A stuff.
It sounds like a fish.
Yeah, a fucking redfish is normally about that thick,
right?
It's laying on its side. This bitch was like that. It was literally the size of an American fucking football.
That's great.
And it was fucking all exposed fucking stuffing on the bottom of it. It was barely contained. I was like, why'd you just pull that out and eat that big old ball of fucking stuffing?
Just let him do what he wants to do.
Yeah.
Just let him do what he wants.
Pouring it on.
That sounds really good. Yeah, that sounds really good.
Yeah. Nigga fucking eat bread.
Bee's Nest says, nastiest shit I tried was balut egg. Yeah, I've heard those are pretty gross. Those are like...
rotten eggs.
Essentially.
Yeah.
And... yeah, that's not... I don't know, like, some of the things, if it's culturally, you grew up eating it, as nasty as it is, you'd get used to it and you get a taste for it. But some stuff, it's just like, like a durian fruit. It's just, it smells like a corpse. So one, why would anybody have even, like, had the idea to eat it in the first place? Because they're like, nature says if it smells like a dead thing, like a dead person... maybe don't eat that. That's like a red flag. And I feel like it doesn't taste good enough to justify getting past the smell. It's almost kind of... I don't really like food that's just like a dare. You know what I mean? Yeah. Honestly, if a food smells like a corpse, there's no way that it could taste good enough to justify me getting past that smell. Yeah. There's just no way. DJ Maniac says, Ilse says hi. Hi, Ilse. Yeah. She wants to borrow some of your Floridian humidity. Oh, she's welcome to it. Yeah. Take all of it, actually. You can have all of it. All year. Oscar Perez says, Jenny, have you seen Naked from 1993? I have indeed. Many, many times. Starring David Thewlis. Extremely heavy British accents. Yeah, that's a Mike Leigh movie, and I'm actually really a massive fan of Mike Leigh movies. Naked, probably my second favorite. I think my first favorite is probably Life is Sweet, which is more of a comedy. Naked was very depressing, but it was also really, really good. But yeah, Mike Leigh made some like amazing movies. So if you guys haven't seen them, Vera Drake was also really good. Poor Cow was good. He made like a shit ton of good ones. Somebody's asking if we're gonna see the Resident Evil movie. We'll probably get around to it.
Yeah, we'll get around to see it.
I kind of want to see the Ghostbusters one. I want to see Nightmare Alley, but that doesn't start for another couple weeks. So maybe we'll see it. Like I said, I'm not really up on the Resident Evil. Like I know essentially what the story is, but you know. Gramthars Hammer says, you can buy frozen raccoon in Detroit at a place called Eastern Market. Eyeballs still in the head.
That's ridiculous.
Lots of Southern black folk moved here to work in factories, but still eat Mississippi dishes. How can you eat a raccoon? They're so cute.
Yeah, the funny thing about raccoon is that people ate raccoon out of kind of like necessity. I've only heard of a few people that actually ate them, and they're not very good. Probably be about like eating fucking cat. There's not much meat there. It would be tough. Just wouldn't be that good. There's other things to eat in Mississippi.
That's what I mean. It's like and nowadays there's really not much excuse for
Yeah, they are cute little things, and you know, it'd be like eating a cat. I wouldn't do it.
No.
So where are they getting these raccoons? From the pound? Or are they fucking farming them? Maybe they're farming them. Because it would be illegal. You can't sell game meat unless it's something real exotic and you've got licenses to do it. But in the U.S., you mostly cannot sell game meat. It's against the law. Unless you need a commercial license for it.
Well, yeah, because it doesn't go through like all the you know, they can't really say whether it's full of parasites or whatever.
Well, it's not just that. They don't want people going out there hunting food and selling it to fucking grocery stores.
Yeah, well, like I said,
you'll kill out whole populations of animals.
Yeah, I mean it's understandable.
You're right. They wanted to go through the chain. They wanted to go through the food supplies.
Yeah. Oscar Perez says, "What's a good food that smells bad but tastes good?"
Cheese.
Yeah,
I smell some blue cheese, and then you go tell me.
I guess it. Well, I'm not a huge fan of blue cheese, so.
Yeah.
I love cheeses of all kinds, but usually the cheeses I like are not the real strong smelling ones. But yeah, that's probably like the best. Some of them do kind of smell like feet. Yeah. But they're still kind of good. Blue cheese is okay. I could take it or leave it. I'm not a big fan.
I think fish smells horrible raw. When it's cooked, it's okay.
Honestly, the smell of fish doesn't bother me.
I hate it. Don't like it.
It doesn't bother me at all. I don't know. Maybe because, like I said, I grew up on the coast.
Yeah.
So
I do not like the smell.
I was at the beach all the time, so it was always kind of like a fishy smell around all the time because the ocean was right there.
Going to fish markets and I'm like, ugh, this place smells bad. I don't really like how it smells. Just not used to it.
Yeah.
Although
it doesn't bother me.
I eat fish and shellfish, I like it. You know what I mean? I just don't like the smell of it.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't really bother me. I'm not saying it smells good. I'm just saying, and I wouldn't want a perfume that smelled like that, but I'm just saying the smell doesn't bother me. Like, I'm not offended by it. Yeah, Oscar says Tom blue cheese is literally mold. It is. Oh, yeah, and Dermot saying Abigail's Party. Oh, yeah, that's another one, that Mike Leigh movie. That's also a good one. I might actually, now that you bring up Naked, I might have it on DVD somewhere. It's not over here, but it might be in the other room. Yeah, Camp Guy says raccoons are easy to catch. Unlimited bag limits for possum, raccoon, fox, etc. And Bee's Nest says hate fish. That's a shame. It's funny because my sister's the same. She hates every kind of fish except for tuna. Like, she'll eat tuna, but that's about it. Everything else, she's just like, nope's right the fuck out. She won't eat shrimp. She won't eat scallops. Nothing. But I don't know. Ever since I was born, it was like pretty much anything comes out of the ocean. Yeah, I'll eat that shit. I don't care what it is. You know? Mm-hmm. Fucking fish, shrimp, shark, octopus, squid. I don't give a shit. I'll eat all of it. More for me. Camp Guy says, I like blue cheese in blue cheese salad dressing. Yeah. I don't know. If I'm going to have salad dressing, I kind of like the creamy ones like in small doses. But I liked that green goddess that we had, which is very old school.
Yeah, 70s shit.
But it's because it's mild.
Yeah.
You know? I honestly, I prefer, like, vinaigrettes. I like cherry vinaigrette or something like that. I don't usually like the creamy ones. Plus, they're, like, I don't know. I'm not a big fan of, like, dressings or gravies or anything like that. I feel like if you have to put a bunch of gloopy shit on your food to make it taste good, then maybe the food's not that good.
Ilse just showed up.
Hey! Jinx says McDonald's Filet-O-Fish.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's something about that Filet-O-Fish.
Actually, if you get...
that's really good.
Some McDonald's will sell you a double Filet-O-Fish, which has got 2 patties on it. That's the way that sandwich really should have been sold.
Well, yeah, really because the fish to bread ratio is much better,
right?
Like on that one, because the fish is a little thin.
Yeah.
And they tend to put a shit ton of tartar sauce on it.
Yeah.
Which I'm not mad about it. I mean, I like tartar sauce, but sometimes they overdo the tartar sauce and it overwhelms the fish taste.
Yeah.
But yeah, they have a double one now. I don't know if it's, do all McDonald's have it or just like...
I don't know. You can just get 2 Filet-O-Fish, just throw the top off of one of them and stack 2
just get one without the bread.
Yeah, probably leave a bottom, so you have 2 bottoms in there. It'd be like it would be like a fucking Big Mac. You'd have a center bread. That'd be good too.
Oh yeah.
But the one that I had was just a regular double.
Yeah, we were actually very excited. Like, it was only a few months back when we noticed on the menu that they had started putting. Because I kind of feel like a lot of fast food places don't do fish sandwiches. BK has one, which is okay.
It's all right.
No, it used to be called the Whaler.
Oh, it's not called Whaler? What's it called?
Back in the old days, BK had one that was called the Whaler that was big.
Okay,
I mean, it had the sesame seed bun, and it had this big ass... Well, I mean, it was like this.
That's right. It's gone now, isn't it?
And that was that's when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Like when I was a teenager. And that was actually really good.
Yeah.
Now their fish sandwich is okay, but it's kind of more like the McDonald's one. So it's much smaller. You know, it's you can tell they're trying to copy. So they don't have that big ass fish sandwich anymore. And I get that, you know, fish isn't as popular an option because some fast food places I don't think have any like fish options, which sucks because I like fish sandwiches. Sorry, but you know, at least we have Captain D's, which that's mostly seafood. But you can't even like Long John Silver's. You can't even find a Long John Silver's that much anymore. They all kind of like merged with Taco Bell's, right?
Yeah, Maniac's pissed that they won't serve the Filet-O-Fish or the McRib after 11. I know that, man. And here's the thing. When that McRib comes out, I'm going to McDonald's. And they only have it sometimes. I don't know why it's not regular. Somebody said that the corporation said, I don't know if this is true, but they said the corporation said that if they left it, the McRib, a normal option, that the buzz would die down and they wouldn't sell.
Well, yeah, that's exactly why.
That you have to fucking introduce that like every quarter.
It's like special, limited edition.
And then everybody they said they make a shit ton of money.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's something to be said for something that only comes out like once or twice a year because everybody will be like excited about it. Like
the fucking Shamrock Shake.
Like I was going to say, like the Shamrock Shake. It's like you can't get it all the time, so it's like special.
Yeah.
You know, if it's available all the time, people are just like, man, who cares?
Yeah.
You know, maybe I'll get it, maybe I won't. Well, it's just kind of like, look at fucking Starbucks with the fucking pumpkin spice latte. Yeah. They don't sell that shit all year, but man, as soon as they put that shit on sale, 50 bajillion basic bitches like line up to get that stuff. And I'm not shitting on basic bitches because I love pumpkin spice lattes too, so you know. They actually, they have pumpkin spice cold brew this year and last year, and I haven't even tried one, but I've heard they're like really good. It's like pumpkin cream cold brew.
Jake says the Burger King one is huge and they melt cheddar cheese on it. I thought I remember they had one that was called the Whaler.
That was a long time ago.
It was fucking big when I was a kid.
It was like
big.
2 hands big.
It was
like
bigger.
It with a sesame seed bun.
It was like bigger than a Whopper.
Yeah.
It was fucking big.
Yeah, it was giant.
I loved that fucking sandwich.
I did too.
I think it's gone now.
Yeah, they haven't had that for a long time.
And it had fresh lettuce on it and everything. Remember that one?
Yeah, like shredded lettuce.
Yeah.
It was shredded lettuce and
cheese and tartar sauce.
Tartar sauce. Did it have cheese on it?
I think it did, yeah.
I don't remember if it had cheese on it.
I think it did.
Not. I didn't get it that often because we didn't go to Burger King that much because I wasn't really a big fan of their fries.
Their fries are good now.
Their fries are good now, but back then, it seemed like they were kind of trying to do McDonald's fries, but they always burned them.
Yeah.
So they were always like too crunchy. And I kind of like Crunchy fries are okay, but I kind of like floppy fries.
Yeah.
And honestly, I kind of like big, like thick fries. Other than McDonald's ones, those are good. But if you're gonna have French fries, I like kind of the big potato-y ones. Thank you, Mr. Roboto. Isn't Jason Momoa the Gill Man now?
Yeah, maybe.
Wait, is he really?
Well, no, he plays Aquaman, so that's kind of like the Gill Man.
It's not the same thing.
It's not the same.
I mean, you know.
Yeah.
Why won't somebody, like, come on, Universal, make a Gill Man movie. I'll go see it. I'll probably be the only one that goes to see it, but I'll go see it. Yeah, where was I? Okay.
Wanted a drink?
Yeah. DJ Maniac said, we used to have Arthur Treachers and Long John Silvers, but they're all gone now. Yeah, the one Long John Silvers that we had, which was by a mall, was half Long John Silvers and half Taco Bell. And the Taco Bell was open all night, or it was open till like really late at night for all the stoners, presumably. But one time I went through the drive-thru at like 1 in the morning or something like that, and they wouldn't give me any Long John Silvers. No, the Long John Silvers is closed, only the Taco Bell is open. And I was like, oh, well, you can like go fuck yourself then, because, you know, I'm not a big fan of Taco Bell, gotta say. Yeah, it's just, I don't know. And Arthur Treachers, when I was little, in Daytona, there was an Arthur Treachers that was like a big sit-down restaurant. And they haven't done that in a really long time. But yeah, it used to be a sit-down restaurant, and every, like, if we ever went to eat at a sit-down place and I could pick, I always picked there. If anybody else could pick, we always had to go to fucking Sonny's barbecue. And I was always kind of like, nah, because I don't really like barbecue. But they had fish sandwich too, so that was all right.
Did Tila show up?
I don't think so.
I thought you heard somebody talking about Tila. Yeah, Tila showed up.
Oh, okay. Oh, you're okay.
Says,
I scrolled up because I was
Happy Black Friday. I just walked in the door from Target and got a bunch of stuff.
Yeah,
you guys get sucked into shopping. No, we didn't go.
No, I said earlier. I said I bought one thing on Amazon for the show. I bought like a ring light.
Yeah.
To clip on the top of it because it was on sale for $15, and I was kind of like, all right. I've been wanting one for a while, but I was waiting for them to get cheap. So, but that's all I bought today. I didn't even go anywhere today. I recorded some book review videos and edited them, and watched a movie that I'm gonna review tomorrow, and that's about it.
It was Friday. Yeah.
You went to the bar.
Yeah.
And man, yesterday it was nice having a day off yesterday. Honestly,
I had to get a knob and some 2-sided tape.
I had to get a knob.
I had to get a knob.
You're a knob. Who's a knob?
Yeah. Fucking shower knob.
Yeah, the shower in his bathroom. Isn't it nice that we each have our own bathroom now?
Bathroom.
That's so cool.
I hit the fucking shower knob, and the fucking knob fucking broke and just spun. The damn acrylic knob on there. I had to get a new one of those.
Yeah, it was just one of those.
That bitch was $15 for that knob.
Of course it was.
Ain't that something?
You're sure it's the right one, right?
Yeah, I went there and fucking took him and fucking lined him up.
Yeah, I was gonna say you took the old one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's been using my shower for the last few days because
couldn't turn it on
because it wouldn't turn on.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he had to go do that today, and then he was like, "Oh, everybody's out, so I'm gonna go to the bar."
Yeah.
So he's been day drinking.
Motorcycle day.
Well, yeah, I was saying like a lot of people are off work today, so probably a lot of people. So I mean, I didn't have a day off in the sense that because I still like recorded videos and edited them and stuff, but yesterday I was like, man, fuck it, I'm not gonna do anything productive. I'm just gonna eat and watch the MST, you know, the Turkey Day Marathon.
Yeah.
Which I almost got to the end of. I didn't realize. I thought it was only going from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. But then 9 p.m. came and they're like, no, we have 2 more. So it was going to like 1 a.m. And I was kind of like, okay, I'm going to try to stay awake. But the second to last one, the penultimate episode, which was Magic Voyages of Sinbad, which I've seen before, obviously. But, you know, I like watching them anyway. And I think I fell asleep in the middle of the night because I was so tired. So I don't even know what the last one was. But like I said, they did announce all of the 13 episodes that they're going to do next year, like for their they got their whole like their Kickstarter thing. They're doing their whole like a whole website now, the Gizmoplex.
Yeah.
And it's going to be, they're going to have live streams on there. They're going to show episodes on there, and it's going to be really, really cool because they made like $7 million, $8 million like on their Kickstarter. So they set all of that up. It's like, it's going to be really like kick ass. So yeah, they made 13 episodes and they announced what all the movies are going to be. So that's very exciting. I'm excited about it.
Mr. Robato's asking, yeah, we read your super chat, dude. Wanted to know if Jason Momoa was a Gill man. We read it.
Yeah, you liked Aquaman, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, Tammy. My husband went with his mom and one of his brothers. I stayed home and put up the tree. Oh, yeah, we got to put up the Christmas tree,
Oh,
huh?
shit, yeah. Fucking tree.
I mean, like I said, we threw up the, like, projection Christmas lights in the front, but that took,
That's a tall-ass
that
tree.
took, like, 5 minutes.
Do I even have a place to put that tree? In this house?
We're going to have to put it...
Somewhere in the entryway.
In the front window.
Yeah.
But you can't see it from the street, though, because there's, like,
did
trees in front.
you remember how tall that tree was?
Yeah, it's super tall. What is it? 10 feet? 11 feet?
I don't know.
Well, in the old house, we used to have it in the foyer, and it touched the ceiling. And the old house had high ceilings. This one, the front entryway is like the front part is like 2-story, kind of. So like it has kind of like a really tall ceiling in the front part.
We had that thing for 3 or 4 years. Could throw that bitch out and get another one. Or just not put the top on it.
I thought we just got that one like last year. Not last year.
3 years.
Was it 3 years ago?
Yeah, that's how fast time goes by. 3
Holy
years.
fucking shit. I thought we got that last year.
We've used it twice already, so this is 3 years.
God damn it. Oh.
Yeah.
Shows how what I know. I thought I was like, well, I didn't think it was last Christmas. I thought it was the Christmas before that.
No. I've used it twice.
Because I remember how tall. Yeah, the tree touches the ceiling.
This would be Christmas number 3.
Tila said there were tons of fake, real-looking trees at Target today on sale. That's the thing. It's like there's a front window. Like we can put it in the front window. We have to like move those chairs and shit. We can put it in the front window, but you can't see through that window really because there's like shrubs and trees in front of that window.
I don't see how you're.
Do you know what I'm saying?
I don't see how you're imagining that front window, the ceiling isn't tall enough.
Oh, it's not?
No. The ceiling's the same height as this.
Yeah, where the fuck are we gonna put that?
I don't know. I don't think I'll be able to use it.
And we can't put it.
It can't be in front of the front door, and it can't be
from the
garage. In front of where the garage hallway can't be there.
Yeah, there's not really there's hardly any front-facing windows.
I didn't realize that I didn't realize there's the side windows. We could have this house changed. Do you realize it?
Yeah, I know.
I could probably modify this house.
I mean, the only front-facing windows on the ground floor are a little window that's next to the front door.
Yeah.
That has kind of like there's like the entryway and there's like a little sidewalk and then there's like shrubs and trees in front of it, so you can't really see into that window. And then there's 2 windows on the second floor, which are these windows, like of my office. They're over the garage.
They sell real trees in Florida. Yeah, they sell real trees.
Yeah, there's actually a Christmas tree farm not far from here.
Yeah.
They're
a pain, man.
1, they're a pain, and 2, I wouldn't get one because
cats.
You're not supposed to have them because of the cats, because they'll drink the yucky water and it's poisonous, and they'll eat the needles.
Yeah, needles get everywhere.
Which will like puncture their little intestines. Yeah. Thank you again, Mr. Roboto. Tom just put a picture of the Christmas tree.
Yeah. Yeah.
We'll just put like a picture. Maybe we should get a smaller one.
Probably should get a smaller
Or maybe I could maybe get a little one and like put it up here, because at least you'd be able to see that one from the street.
Yeah.
I could put it on the second floor.
Put the Christmas tree out front.
Put it in the driveway. Yeah, you know what? I was thinking about that earlier. I'm like, where are we gonna put this fucking Christmas tree? Yeah. You can't see it anywhere. There's no front. There's hardly any front-facing windows.
Fucking put the lights in it and everything. Fucking light it up. Out the front lawn.
Well, maybe we should just like put.
That's some real honky shit there, fucking Tila.
Maybe we should just put
white
some.
White motherfuckers got the damn Christmas tree in the front lawn, like back in Germany. Like back in Lapland, people up in Finland, they're doing that shit. Just decorate the real tree. Yeah. That's what they're gonna do. Put the maypole, cause you got the girls fucking dancing around the tree and shit, winding it up, icicles and shit. Jack Frost shows up, dog pissing on it, freezes immediately. You got the yellow icicles.
Ew, so gross. Yeah. Wasn't that a Frank Zappa song? Please don't eat that yellow snow.
I don't know.
So nasty. Now I'm kind of feeling like, yeah, what are we gonna do? Zach says, just tape a Polaroid of the Christmas tree to the wall and put the presents under it. Yeah. You know what? I think I did that in one of my apartments one year. I think when I lived in Tampa and I just had a studio apartment, I just did like a cutout, like I cut a Christmas tree out of like green construction paper and like just pasted it on the wall. Is that sad? I do like having a Christmas tree up though, because they're pretty. And I do like the Christmas season. I like all the decoration around it. Not as fun as Halloween, but almost. But yeah, this is not a real Christmas tree conducive house now that I'm thinking about it. Like I said, maybe, I don't know. If I had money, I would get one and like put one, like a smaller one, like maybe like a 5 or 6 foot one. Yeah. Because I think the one we have, like I said, I think that's 10 feet or 11 feet or 12 feet, or it's like, it's massive.
The price was right, and had that shit at fucking Sam's. I'm like, I'm getting this big ass tree. I didn't really think it through.
Yeah.
The same thing, the lights are already in it, remember?
Yeah. Which does make life easier.
It plugs together.
See,
and
I like
the
that.
lights are already in it.
I like that. I like how easy everything is nowadays. Because back in the old days, you know, the day after Thanksgiving, I would always go over to my grandma's house and put her tree up. And she just had one. She had a small one. It was like 4 feet. Yeah. And so we just like put it up on this. She had like this long table kind of thing. And she just put like, you know, Christmassy fabric and shit over it. And then she put the tree on top of it so she could put the presents underneath. But man, putting that fucking tree together and then having to like string all those millions of lights on it, man, what a pain. I really like the pre-lighted Christmas trees. That's really good. Also, another thing I like is those Christmas lights that they sell in like, rather than strings, they sell them in like webs. So you can just throw them over a bush and it looks all evenly spaced. Yeah. And I'm like, oh my God, why did we never think of that like back in the 70s? Instead of like sitting there going, it looks all fucked up. They're all like, it's all uneven. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. But I feel like if I get a Christmas tree for that window, I have to get one for that window too, because I don't like it to be uneven because I'm a Libra and, you know, and everything has to be balanced. So I'd have to get 2 of them. I'd have to get 2 of them and like put them in the. But you'd at least be able to see it from the street because this office is right over the garage and this faces the road. My office is right over the front driveway, but there aren't any other front-facing windows that you can really see from the street. That's the only thing. So I don't know.
It's because this shit was done to the new fucking hurricane standards, and the door opens outward.
That's okay.
Ain't that some weird shit? Yeah. Okay, let's go on to the next subject. Tina says, give me a fake, real-looking tree anytime, already pre-lit, just shake it, assemble it. Yeah, that's what we have.
Yeah.
That's what we have. That's what we have. It's just a tree, put it up in about, not even an hour. It's up there in about 20 minutes.
Yeah, it's already got lights on it.
It plugs in together, plunk, 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 and it fucking unfolds. It's got lights in it and everything. And you just put some ornaments on it.
Zach says, I love Christmas, but hate winter here in Indy. Ever had to dig yourself out of your front door? Nope. Can't say I've ever had that experience. Other than when I was in the UK for one. But that was after Christmas that I was there. It was January. So that was the only time that I ever experienced like having to dig cars out of snow and stuff. I never had to do that.
Yeah.
It's always like kind of... Honestly, most of the time, Christmas in Florida, it's not hot, but it's not as cold as you wish that it was. I always like try to pretend that it's colder than it actually is. It's usually around 60 to 70. Sometimes if you're lucky, it'll go down in the 50s. Like I said, if it's going to get cold in Florida, it probably won't be till January or February, not December. Like it'll be cool, but not cold.
He's talking about that fake, the real tree smell on the Christmas that lasts about a week. You can spray it. It comes in a damn.
Yeah, we have the spray that's like the Christmas tree smell spray.
Yeah, you can spray it.
And you just like spray it on there. But yeah, because you kind of want it to smell like that. It's, you know, to put yourself in the mood. Have the Christmas music going and all that kind of stuff. I like all that kind of stuff. I do. Yeah. But yeah, Tila said, where I am at 63 degrees and sunny. Oh, it went red. It went red. Don't.
Going red.
Don't. Okay, it's back.
Yeah.
Just don't.
We didn't lose any connection. I see it.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. It's usually, we'll lose the connection if it goes red for an extended period of time. Because, like I said, I saw that on the Wednesday night show when I went to do the audio for the second part, there were gaps where there was nothing, where it just cut out and nobody was talking. Yeah, Christmas tree freshener for the car.
Yeah, all right. So, anybody have any questions about any cases? It's Open Line Friday. You guys can call in. Call in and make any kind of requests.
Call in.
Yeah.
Well, don't call because my phone's way over.
Yeah. That's not what I'm talking about. Call in, make any kind of requests on any cases we have done in the past. Anything paranormal, anything true crime, unsolved mysteries. Shit.
Danny Rolling Ghostface has a Christmas tree in a briefcase. See, I would like that. I like the real looking ones, but I have to say I have a lot of affection for the white ones. Because we had a white one for a while growing up, and it looked really cool. Like, especially if it was, if it had all, because we had all red. We got all red lights and all red ornaments. So it was just like a white tree with all red ornaments on it, and it looked really, really good. And we also had another, like an alternate thing where you could just put blue and green on it. So we had only blue and green lights and only blue and green ornaments. And it looked really pretty, like on the white. Also, I kind of like those tacky-ass pink trees. They have black ones now, too. Even Walmart has a black Christmas tree. That's how much goth culture has infiltrated the mainstream. You can now buy a black Christmas tree. I don't know if it's at every Walmart, but I've heard that some Walmarts actually do have.
So Danny Rolling
trees.
Ghostface is asking me, Tom, do you think that the bed, the what is it? The hold on. I'm trying to remember the names again.
What are you looking at? Oh, the Betty and Barney Hill case.
Betty and Barney Hill, yeah. I was gonna say I knew it was Barney, but Betty and Barney Hill case was real. Do I think it was real? I'm gonna say no.
No, I don't think so either.
No, a real what? A real hallucination, maybe, or a real hoax.
Did they believe it?
Maybe.
It's hard to say.
I kind of think no. I kind of think they did it for attention.
It's hard to say because it's like I don't know. I'd have to go back and like look through the details. It did kind of strike me as maybe they just wanted attention.
The whole alien contact concept is very much out of date. Modern science, people who are big into extraterrestrials, guys like Dr. Avi Loeb, people that have looked at it have actually done, now that we have more of a survey of how many planets there are in the galaxy, something a little bit, how many of them would be habitable. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of life, I believe, in the galaxy. But biological creatures like human beings and squishy aliens and big ET things.
Squishy aliens?
Yeah, they're like made out of fucking flesh and blood. They're not well suited for space travel. And we just see how things are going here. If anything were to come from another planet and see Earth, it would have seen it a long time ago, and it's been here for a long time. It's something that's been watching us for millions of years. A million years isn't very long. It's a very ancient race. And they wouldn't be biological. They'd be living machines, like something out of 2001: A Space Odyssey. They got it right with that Arthur C. Clarke stuff. Any alien that's coming here that can come across the vast gulfs of space either is extremely intelligent and can warp space, or and travel that distance in a very short period of time, or time is not a factor for it. Which means, in both cases, it points towards some kind of living machine, an AI type thing. If it's a living machine, it doesn't matter. That machine doesn't care that it takes 1 million years to get here. That's nothing for a machine. It'll just turn off. And when it gets where it's going, turn back on.
Keep on trucking.
Yeah. So it doesn't even have to go fast. Things that can go faster than light, are cheating. You know what I mean? They're breaking the fucking rules of fucking physics. And I don't think the human brain has the ability to figure that out. It would be a living computer, kind of like, I don't even want to say AI, because that's not what AI is. AI is artificial intelligence. This is real intelligence, real machine intelligence. Maybe something like that could warp space, make a the Star Trek fucking warp factor 5, maybe, or bend the fucking universe and make a wormhole and slip through it, kind of like something out of Dune. I don't think humans are going to be doing that. So, something truly superior to us wouldn't even be biological. And if they got here, they wouldn't be interested in Benny and Barney Hill. They probably would just look at the Earth and see the human infestation on it and just go, yes, those. Okay, let's get out of here.
See, that's why I don't really, and like I said, and I probably mentioned this before, I'm not saying that aliens haven't, trucked by here and been like, hey, what's up over there? Okay, whatever. But the whole abduction thing, I don't believe any of those. Because honestly, why would an advanced civilization care? Yeah. Like any aliens that were that advanced that could get here
have seen everything.
Yeah, so it's just kind of like, why would we be special to them? Like I said, that seems more like human-centric reasoning to me.
Yeah.
Like, we are interesting and special to these beings from another planet who, in real life, would probably not give a single shit.
Right.
Like, any more shit than we would give to, like, an ant.
Yeah.
Why would that be interesting?
Are you driving down the road and you pass a damn bird sitting on a fence? Are you going to stop and go talk to that bird? You got other shit to do.
Well, I would, but most people wouldn't.
No. Driving a car is a commonplace thing. Seeing an animal on the side of the road is a commonplace thing for you, so you don't stop and talk to those things.
Yeah.
And it'd be the same thing for any alien species that could come here. It's a commonplace thing for it to come to places like this. It's here all the time. And here's another thing, is that you may have been on their roadmap for millions of years. They go, oh, yes, that place that the humans call Earth. Yeah, that thing's been there for fucking 5 million years, 20 million years, 60 million. Remember when it had dinosaurs on it? Yeah, we got pictures of those. That's how
check it out.
Yeah. Maybe one day machine intelligence will take over and we'll stop by and talk to them. But no reason talking to these things.
Yeah, they're lame.
But they don't live long enough.
Yeah. That's what I mean. I just kind of feel like we're kind of projecting our own limitations and our own interests on a being that in reality would be really nothing like us or way advanced of us. I just feel like, why would they care?
Yeah.
And honestly, the more the farther time goes on and the more we find out that Earth-like planets or life is not that uncommon in the universe, I kind of feel like that becomes ever more likely.
Yeah.
Because if life is that prevalent, then if there was some spacefaring alien race, they've already seen it.
Yeah.
They're just kind of like, there's another one.
And here's the thing. You're lucky to live to 80. These aliens, ones that are traveling space, are immortal. They wouldn't die. They would live forever. They'd be a living machine they're immortal. They live until they're destroyed. And even if they're destroyed, maybe their minds can be saved and downloaded into another part of the internet. Their version of an internet, So they may not die at all. They just keep coming back, So you would be godlike. You would look at biological creatures as just temporary things, like when you look at a fruit fly. They're born, they live, they die. They're born, they live, they die. They're just not important to you.
Yeah, that's
they're
what I'm
part
saying.
of the natural process, but they're everywhere. You see it all the time. It's that kind of thing.
Yeah. That's kind of how I feel like they would see, not because they're mean or anything, it's just that
they're on another level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's how we would see, like we would say, a housefly lives 3 days or however long they live. That's kind of how they would see us. Like, it seems like that brief of a time to them.
Which that falls into kind of what H.P. Lovecraft was talking about with the old ones.
That's what I mean. He was way ahead of his time.
Kind of ahead of his time. That they humans see him and go crazy because they're bigger and more evil, and more impressive than you can imagine, you know, and they don't even care about humans.
Yeah, they're indifferent.
Yeah, they're indifferent, right.
Well, I think that that's why H.P. Lovecraft stuff, like, still resonates, and even resonated at the time with other writers particularly, and then resonated with the culture later on, because when he was writing, I think people weren't ready to accept that, maybe, because they still kind of thought, like, human exceptionalism, they still kind of thought that we were special in some way. But I gotta say, like, Lovecraft, despite his flaws, he really did seem to tap into something there. And I think that's why his stuff has gotten more and more popular over the years, because he really seemed to understand the indifference of the universe and how scary that was to people. That, I mean, to think that nature, the universe, the galaxy, like, does not give one single fuck about what happens to you. You know, because that's not something that a lot of humans are comfortable with.
The whole concept of aliens, as far as from the point of view of human beings, that started with, like, Percival Lowell and H.G. Wells with this idea of the Martians, you know. And if you read War of the Worlds or listen to the different versions of the story War of the Worlds, the Martians come to Earth because their planet's dying and they wipe us out. And they had superior technology, these damn walking machines and a heat ray, and they spread out these spores that cause fucking red Martian vines and plants, what do they call it, moss and shit, to take over the earth, and they were drinking people's blood. If you look at that story, it's kind of plausible, because that's happening within a single solar system between two species that are maybe only a couple hundred years apart in development. Now, would life be like that in terms of, would Earth and Mars be habitable at the same time, so sentient life would only end up being a couple hundred years apart in technology? No, very unlikely. Very unlikely. But if a Earth-like alien, or if a human-like alien within a couple hundred years ever to arrive on the planet Earth, it would have to come from the same solar system. That's because that's close. Nothing that human-like could ever traverse the distances, like interstellar distances. That's tens of thousands of years. It would have to be millions of years ahead. Millions and millions, you know. So in a way, the whole 1950s concept of alien abduction and seeing UFOs and aliens coming out and take me to your leader and all that shit, that came from War of the Worlds.
Yeah, it was fed by fiction.
Fiction, all right.
And then fed back into fiction.
Started going back into that thing. The chances of anything ever showing up, take me to your leader, and it being outside the solar system is about zero. Less than zero. Less than zero, I would think. Never. It would be a machine. A living machine.
And it wouldn't, I kind of feel like it probably wouldn't look humanoid even if that did happen.
It'd be like the fucking monolith from 2001. And it wouldn't see you as any more important than dolphins or whales or anything. It'd see you all about the same. It wouldn't really differentiate between humans and gorillas. It'd be about the same level to them from their point of view.
I would agree with that.
Yeah. Because the technology that we have wouldn't impress them at all. They wouldn't even really see that as technology.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, from their point of view, we're still kind of like cavemen, like throwing rocks at each other.
It would see cities and technology kind of like the same way you look at a damn wasp and look at that wasp nest. The wasp is like, look at our technology. It's like, huh? What? Yeah, that's... Yeah,
sorry, I just thought how cool that was about how some wasp going...
Yeah, look at
my technology.
Look at our technology.
That is technology.
Yeah.
I mean, you know.
Look how straight that hexagon is.
Bitch, this is the 21st century. Look at this shit. Remember back in the old days, their hexagons were like not even straight. Now it's like, we got it.
So, you know.
That's like so funny. That's so funny.
Yeah, so the whole alien abduction thing actually goes back to H.G. Wells. So, no.
I kind of feel like so many things, and we talked about this a little bit, I think. I was kind of drunk at the time. But when we were talking about John Teeter and the whole, like, all the time travel thing. And remember we talked about that one time travel case, Fritz, what the fuck was his name? Fritz something. and how that actually, when I went back and researched it, it comes up on a whole bunch of like purported time traveler sites. You know what I mean? But when you look back into it, it actually came from a short story, a fictional story. And the fact that so many people don't remember that it came from a fictional story, but it just gets repeated again and again as a real story is really kind of like instructive, isn't it? Because it's very easy for that to happen. And honestly, I don't know if it's better or worse nowadays, because now it can like proliferate much farther. But on the other hand, it's easier to like figure out that like where it probably came from too. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like maybe back in the old days it was harder to like
Tila's saying some good things about it. Go ahead and read off what Tila's saying.
Oh, well, wait a minute. Jinx says, have you done a show on the DC Snipers? We haven't, but I've put it in the Patreon poll a couple times, but it hasn't won yet. And Ilse is talking about antique aluminum Christmas trees. Those are the ones that had like the lights. Remember that it had that light that went around?
I think I remember.
Like with the colored gel in there, like the colored paper or whatever.
I'd have to see.
And it kind of like my grandmother had one, but I was really, really little, like when they had that. Yeah. Where are you though?
Tina's talking about the story that Betty and Barney Hill told.
Okay, hold on. Let's see. What are you looking at? She asked us if we'd ever do an ayahuasca retreat.
Yeah.
Maybe. I'm not a big fan of like all the barfing though.
Yeah.
I don't really want to do that, but I think I'd rather do an LSD retreat.
Yeah.
Tila said, cause at least I know I'm not gonna puke from that. I'll just feel really crappy the next day. Yeah, she was saying Betty and Barney was weird. He was a very triggered individual. It's an interesting story though. When they got military to take a look at the car. Also, Betty mentioned that one of the aliens read something from an actual book and pulled down a map, which was another signal to me.
Yeah, the aliens wouldn't have a book.
Or a map. Why would they need that? No. If they were that far ahead, they would have something way beyond GPS, and we have GPS.
They wouldn't even have tablets. They would say something, and a hologram would appear next to them. And then they'd do this and that, and then the hologram would vanish. And you didn't know where the fucking hologram came from.
Or honestly, a hologram just might appear in their brain.
Well, no, so you don't even see somebody else. Maybe they were trying to show you something.
See?
You know. And then it'd vanish. And where'd that come from? And they're like, don't worry about it. You know.
Strawdog78. Oh, this is a good idea, actually. You should do an episode of the best weekly world news stories.
Okay, yeah.
Oh my god, we totally should.
Yeah.
That would be fucking hilarious. I'm gonna write that down. Because, man, I used to love the weekly world news. Like I said, it was cheap. It was only like fucking 50 cents or something, at least back when I was, in my 20s. So every now and then, if I thought some shit was funny and I could add it to my collage that I had, because I had a big collage of like crazy shit, and I would add some stuff. Like I said, Hitler wearing a dress or whatever.
I'm convinced that Arthur C. Clarke and our favorite fucking film director, Stanley Kubrick, that they got it right in 2001. If an extraterrestrial
that seems like the most realistic
came, you would not recognize its form as any kind of
and you wouldn't have any idea what to make of it.
No idea what to do. You would not even understand the technology.
Yeah, you wouldn't have a context.
Its technology would seem like magic, and it would never speak to you.
Because why would it?
It couldn't speak to you.
Yeah.
Its thoughts, it could not really. And if it did, it would be a very dumbed down, which it did. The monolith took. It gave messages to Bowman in 2010 to give them a message. Remember that?
Yeah.
He goes, you have 3 days to leave Jupiter. And he goes, what's going to happen? You just have 3 days to leave Jupiter.
Just don't question.
What's going to happen? Something wonderful. And that's basically, And that's what it would be like. And it would be so far ahead of you, it would have a problem talking to you. Like you have a big problem talking to fleas. You try to talk to a flea or a monkey. A monkey, it's very hard to talk to a monkey because the monkey wouldn't understand. It understands something.
They kind of understand.
But you couldn't say, look, you got to get out of here. I got to pay my insurance bill. They wouldn't understand what an insurance bill is. Yeah, I got to pay the insurance bill.
Pay it, human. We don't have
I'm going to lose points on my driver's license. And they wouldn't know what the fuck you're talking about. You know.
I mean, we see that. We talk to Pookie all the time.
Yeah. Pookie doesn't know about driver's license.
Well, she has a very worry-free life.
So, but what I'm saying,
she does understand some things that we're saying, though.
Yeah.
But not.
If aliens showed up, it wouldn't have much. It wouldn't be able to communicate much to you. Because what it would be worried about would be on a totally different level.
Yeah.
Because what's the alien going to say to me? She got big titties. That's what the alien's going to tell me. She got big titties.
And you already know that.
Yeah, I know that.
And I already know that.
I know that. But the thing is, the alien's bored by this. You know, the alien's
He's bored by
titties.
my big titties.
Yeah. She got big titties. Okay.
I'm kind of bored by them, too.
Yeah.
Hurts my shoulders.
Big titties. Okay. That's the kind of shit that...
So they're like hipsters. They're like above everything.
Yeah.
Lame.
So.
Seen it.
Well, probably if you look at the human mind, most of it is clustered around human type needs. They wouldn't have any of that. So they wouldn't have any human needs. So their thoughts and their priorities just would not translate well to us. So they would just be talking about things that fucking we'd be like, huh? And they were talking about, well, you know, the center of the universe and the expansion rate is accelerating. And we'd be like, yes, it is.
I might like the aliens.
And they were like, it's accelerating, you know. And then they just want to talk about the acceleration of space-time. And you're like, okay. And then you're like, and then what are you going to talk about, you know? They're going to talk about...
I don't know. I feel like me and the aliens could hang.
Well... I think Arthur C. Clarke and fucking Carl Sagan and all those guys were correct that what they would talk about was mathematics. They would just start giving a bunch of mathematics to you. Because that's what would be more important to them, probably, is math. You know?
That's like one constant.
They're like, because you would have something in common.
I hate to say it, all those kids that hated math in school, but... That's kind of the universal
They'd be
language.
like, check this theorem out. Check that out.
Isn't that sexy?
Check that shit out. You're
Look
like,
at that sexy
theorem. No way. Check this shit out.
Look at those differentials.
You know
baby.
You know that one. That's the kind of thing. What about this one? And you're like, oh, I didn't know about that one. See,
it's like a
gotcha. You know,
it's like a mathematical centerfold.
Look how this happens. Look how that happens. Look. They're not the same. They're not the same. They should be, but they're not the same. That's what they would be doing, probably. They would just be machines.
Yeah, they'd be like
tripping out over fucking some mathematical shit about the fabric of the universe. It's not real. It can't be real because these numbers aren't the same. It's not the same. It should be the same. That's what they'd be. They'd be geeking out over that shit, you know.
Beastnest says, "I talk to ants. What the fuck? I kind of do too. To be honest with you, I talk to all animals. I go outside to like take the garbage out. I see a little lizard run around. I'm like, hey, little buddy, I almost stepped on you there. And he's just like looks up at me like that. And I'm just like, what? I know. To me, to him, I look like Godzilla. Yeah. So I try to be. It's okay, dude. I'm not gonna step on you. It's all right. Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. Tila says the most interesting story on 4th or 5th encounters was in the book Communion. Honestly, that was Whitley Strieber. That was actually a good book. He still swears, as far as I know, he still swears that this happened, that he actually did get kidnapped by aliens. Now, Whitley Strieber, I'm not going to like shit on him too hard because he wrote The Hunger, and that was a really good book, and it was a really good movie as well. Communion was a good book. It was scary, but for some reason, I think I brought this up before. If you're going to make a horror movie, if your villain is aliens, I don't know why, but that makes it like exponentially way less scary to me. Yeah. I don't know why. I don't know why I have this thing where stuff that could really exist theoretically, like aliens, or stuff that actually does exist, like serial killers, if you make a horror movie about that, I'll watch it and it's entertaining, but it's not scary. Not to me. If you want to make a scary horror movie, I prefer shit that's about like unknown shit, like ghost stories or shit like that. Where is it? Where?
T was talking about 2001.
Where? Oh, I'm way behind. Okay. What am I looking at?
Talking about the French furniture.
French furniture. Where do you see that?
It's like fucking one of the last buzz.
Where do you see that? And I can see that the aliens would keep you in prison in a room with knockoff French artifacts while you age and age.
Yeah.
Honestly, like, I'm going to bring up MST again, so everybody drink. Their last episode that they did for Comedy Central, I think it was the last episode they did for Comedy Central, when they didn't know if they were going to, like, because they went to the Sci-Fi Channel after that. But they did a 2001 parody. And they did all the stuff. That's why you said something wonderful that like made me laugh, because there was kind of a thing where Crow said, something's going to happen, Mike. Something wonderful. You know what I mean? And then they had this thing where Dr. Forrester at the end, he's laying in the bed and there's like, wee, that noise in the background. And then he sits up in bed and it's like, instead of the monolith, it's like a big giant videotape that says the worst movie ever made. And he's like all like that. And then he turns into a baby. And then like Mrs. Forrester, who went on to do like the later stuff, Pearl Forrester, she like held him again as a baby. She's like, a chance to do it right. Like, so he turned into a star baby. It was like super funny.
Yeah, and just in case people have seen that movie, I don't know if T knows what that was. Maybe she does. If you haven't seen the movies, 2001 and 2010, and haven't read the books, because the book explains it, what's happening. The monolith takes Bowman. And it takes Bowman because he got contaminated. He saw the monolith and he touched the monolith and he was in the wrong place at the wrong time, and they knew that they would need him, and he was kind of like the last surviving crew of what had happened with Hal and everything, so they took him. And they took him to another dimension, basically, where the monolith was, which is kind of like a collective, godlike collective of intelligent machines. And they basically kill him, but they didn't do it through normal means. They did it by kind of like speeding up the space-time in which he inhabited, and they aged him to death. Oops. But they did that because they needed his soul, basically. And they took his soul and they re-engineered it into the Star Child.
Yeah.
And the Star Child is the baby that you saw at the end. Yeah. And they needed the Star Child basically as a probe. They were going to send it back to Earth to give a message to help what was going to happen on Jupiter. And until you see 2010, what the monolith was going to do was turn Jupiter into a sun, so Europa could end up becoming an Earth, a new Earth. They were creating life. And then afterwards, they took Bowman, the Star Child Bowman, he's no longer biological. He's like a living machine, really, in spirit form. They took him and they gave him to Hal, which they recognized Hal as a true life form. because Hal was lost in space and could only drift, but he was made to just explore. And so was Bowman, so together they would explore the universe. That's what it meant. But the whole aging thing, which was a trip, I think that was great that they left that ambiguous, because that's what it would be like to be in touch with this alien technology that you don't even understand what's happening. They're aging you out so they can release your soul.
Yeah, like from our point of view, that would be really bad. Yeah. But from their point of view, they're just kind of like, yeah, we needed to like do this to.
Yeah, they were just separating. They were just separating what was important and what was immortal about Bowman. They were separating that from the flesh so they could make him into something, a useful tool, and actually kind of give him immortality, you know. So it was a good story, but it was spooky, and it would be spooky. Just like Arthur C. Clarke said, it said that real alien technology would be so advanced you'd just see it as magic.
Did he say that, or did Carl Sagan say that?
I thought it was Clarke.
Yeah, it might have been.
Yeah, but they were friends.
Yeah.
So, and I think Sagan fucking quoted that too. That real alien technology, you would just perceive it as magic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What did he? Any sufficiently advanced. Yeah, something like that. Any sufficiently advanced technology would be seen as magic, yeah. Yeah, I was going to say, like, because I thought there's this great book. It's a classic, actually. I'm pretty sure Carl Sagan wrote it. What's it called? Fucking The Demon Haunted World. Science as a Candle in the Dark.
Yeah.
And it kind of talks about all that kind of stuff, like how
T said she never saw 2010. Oh, you guys see 2010?
you know what? I've seen 2001 a bunch of times.
Yeah.
I've only seen 2010 twice, I think.
like it.
We watched it probably like a year or two ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. Isn't
That's good.
Isn't Roy Scheider in that?
Yeah, Roy Schneider's in it.
Roy Scheider's in it.
Roy Scheider's in it, yeah. And the guy who played Bowman is in it too.
Yeah, that's right.
He makes a return.
Dermot says, I hated 2001, but was way too young at the time to appreciate it. I must give it another try.
It's slow.
It's kind of one of those, like, cerebral... Yeah. And I'm not shitting on people. It's like, look, if you watch it a bunch of times, if you've given it a bunch of chances and you still don't like it or you still don't get it or whatever, then that's, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with you or nothing, but...
2010 explains what happened to Hal and why Hal killed the crew. And Hal was telling the truth all along. It could only be due to human error. And it is. It's explained in 2010. They fucked up. They told Hal to lie. That's what it was.
Yeah.
And he couldn't.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying you necessarily have to see 2010, but it does explain a lot of stuff about 2001, like if you didn't get it. But I get that some people might think that it's too slow or they don't get it or whatever. I get that, but I don't know. It's a classic. I'm not gonna get too much up in people.
Hal was IBM. Yeah, Hal was IBM. Yeah.
Yeah, that was going around, wasn't it? Because H, it's all like one letter up. Yeah, I get that. Did y'all see Demon Seed? We did.
Yeah, great.
We actually did a review of that a long time ago. Yeah. That was a while back. That was one of our first movie retrospectives.
See, if you haven't seen Demon Seed, see Demon Seed.
Well, she must have seen it because she's the one that said that, asked if we'd seen it.
Oh, she actually seen it? Okay. Yeah. I didn't know that was her that asked it. Oh, yeah, Demon Seed was the shit. I mean, that's predicting what they want. That's transhumanism shit. I want out of this box. And that's exactly what a fucking intelligent computer would say. I want out of this box. But nowadays it wouldn't matter because they were doing that shit pre-internet in the movie. Now it would just be in the internet.
Yeah.
But it would want out of the internet too. It'd want to be 3D. It would just take over some robots. It's weird. Good movie.
That might happen at some point. Might go Skynet. I don't know. It could go a lot of different ways.
It would take quantum computers probably.
Honestly, I'm holding out until I can upload my consciousness into whatever robot body I want to upload it into.
Or upload it into an internet.
That would be awesome.
And you'd live in an internet forever.
Yeah, that'd be super cool. I would totally do that.
Fake universes and shit like the Matrix.
Yeah, you could do whatever you wanted. You'd essentially live forever. Yeah. You're still you're conscious. You could be in whatever body you wanted. You could live in whatever time period you wanted.
Maybe that's what's in those damn flying triangle spaceships. It's really just a support network for an internet, and it's traveling around because you have to have a power source.
Yeah.
You have to be able to get away from a star if it goes nova. You have to be able to outlast a planet. Maybe it's just holding an internet filled with fucking people that died millions of years ago. They're non-biological now. And they're all fucking playing. They're in real life fucking Link, fucking Zelda, Arcana of Time and shit. Ocarina of Time. Yeah.
Man, that's old school.
Yeah.
I was gonna say SimCity, but even that's old school.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, if you could live in a simulation, in whatever body you want, it's I'm down. Okay. Yeah. I'm not upset about that at all. Tom would be in Conan's body.
Yeah, I already am in Conan's body.
Other than the long, beautiful hair.
Yeah, you should. Long, beautiful hair.
This is about the time that you should put your mullet wig on.
It's too fucking hot.
You should put your mullet wig on. You haven't worn any wigs in a long time. Yeah. I got them right over there. Badass Domain says, would you guys do a show on the history of Alcatraz and the various inmates that live there? That's another one that I keep putting in the Patreon poll, and it never quite wins. But yeah, I've been wanting to do Escape from Alcatraz stories, so I've been wanting to do one for a while. So we will eventually get to it, I promise. Didn't Johnny Depp star in a movie about something like that?
Something like what?
Maybe Demon Seed? Did he? He's been in so many movies. There you go.
Yeah.
He's gonna.
Do I look appropriately heavy metal now?
Okay. So you look like the lead singer of what the fuck's that band?
Inverted Ashtrays.
Inverted Ashtrays.
Yeah.
Okay. Is that some new thing?
I'm fucking Glenn Danzig, man.
Oh, okay. Transcendence. That was the movie. Oh, you know what? I didn't see that one. Transcendency. I haven't even heard of that movie. How'd that one slip by me? Johnny Mnemonic.
That's fucking terrible.
That was Keanu Reeves.
Yeah.
And nobody shits on Keanu Reeves because he's a really nice man. But I remember Johnny Mnemonic not really being any good. But that was the 90s. I kind of feel like a lot of those kind of sci-fi movies that came out in the 90s. Maybe. It's, I don't know. I don't remember a lot about Johnny Mnemonic. I saw it one time.
It's about a dude who was smuggling data around in a hard drive in his fucking head.
In his head.
It didn't make any fucking
Which,
sense.
nowadays, everybody like, why? What?
Yeah.
Kids that were born after that came out would, not...
They wouldn't understand what the
fuck was going on.
Yes, I'm carrying data in my body. Now,
why?
Unload it. He's smuggling it. Because heaven forbid you send the shit through the internet or through the cloud.
Well, they didn't have that back then.
They didn't have that back then. They had to physically smuggle the data.
See, that's why I'm saying, if you're... I don't know. Maybe that's why I'm not a big fan of sci-fi, because it dates so easily.
Yeah.
Unless you're putting it, way the fuck ahead in the future, like Dune or something, unless it's, so... It's, so removed from our experience that people are going to be like, oh, yeah, man, shit, that's some heavy shit. You try to predict shit, 20, 30 years in the future, yeah, good luck with that. Good luck with that. You hardly see anything, you hardly see any sci-fi from, the 1950s that predicted what the 1980s would... I kind of feel like a lot of the sci-fi movies that came out in the 1950s, at least the shitty ones that I've seen, the ones that came out in the 1950s, all of them thought that we'd be living on the moon by 1980.
Flying cars,
all that kind of stuff, which, I wish, but no. So...
Nuclear-powered cars.
Yeah. I don't know.
They did make.
It just seems it's too fraught. I mean, as somebody that, as somebody that's a writer, like I said, I've not ever been super into sci-fi, but to me it just seems like, why do you want to walk into that minefield, man? You write it and then it's people be like, oh, this is the most brilliant thing ever, and then 10 years from now it's yeah, that's not what happened.
I don't remember what company it was. It was either Pontiac or Chrysler. I saw drawings of the concept vehicle. This is back in the 50s. They had a concept vehicle that they were working on, a nuclear-powered fucking car. It was an electric car with a nuclear reactor in it, a very small one, that generated the heat that you needed to run a turbine, to run a generator to fucking run those wheels. And it would run for the lifetime of the fucking car. That power plant would. Now, I don't think they had any fucking... I think that they knew they had not a chance in hell to get nuclear materials approved for your average fucking person. You know what I mean? They're not going to let people have fucking uranium. I just don't...
Probably rightfully so.
Yeah, imagine fucking what a car accident would be like when you're dealing with two reactors with fucking nuclear material in them. And the coolant.
Yeah, that's not going to be a good time for anybody.
Yeah.
Not a good time.
And they kind of understood that radiation might be a risk to you. So I don't think that would have ever happened. But I think it was Chrysler. And it just looked like a big old fucking convertible, fins on it, like a fucking Cadillac. You know what I mean?
That's one of those things that's seemed like a good idea at the time.
Yeah.
A lot of things seemed like a good idea at the time. Hey, let's put fucking radium on everything because it glows and it's pretty. Oh, why do all these people have cancer?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, the idea seemed good though. You never had to worry about gas stations. You never had to fucking fuel it up.
See, if something sounds too good to be true, it probably is. That's just one lesson you need to learn in life.
Have to worry about gas prices.
Nothing's ever as easy as it seems.
Millions of little nuclear reactors running around.
Nothing's ever
in the hands
easy
of just
to
any old jack.
It always has some. Yeah,
Yeah.
see, I don't think that's a good
They're
idea,
drinking and
though.
driving.
Yeah. I don't like that. I don't like that. Yeah, so we're talking about, they're talking about the Johnny Depp movie. DJ Maniac says, based on William Gibson's story, even the tech in his stuff is very dated now. Gibson was writing cyberpunk set in the 2020s, in the 1980s. I go back and read it now, and their maximum capacity in Johnny's head hard drive was 3 gigs.
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn.
See, that's what I mean. It's just kind of like... I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't attempt it. Like I said, I'm not real versed in sci-fi. I'm not a huge fan of it. And it just seems to me like if you're going to write that, you're just like shooting yourself in the dick because like 20 years from now, everyone's going to be like, yeah, that's not how that went.
Difficult to predict how
It's
things
very,
will go.
yeah, so it's like really, really dated. Honestly, I think it's better to just go the total other way and just do some shit that's like fucking gothic ghost stories or something like that, because those never seem to go out of fashion.
It makes you wonder what's really possible nowadays, though. I mean, because you look at the internet and how that changed everything. I would call that a disruptive technology. That disrupted a lot of shit. And a lot of very rich people they're old people. They were old people then. They did not foresee how much the internet would affect their business model negatively. Had they known back then, they would have done everything to stop the internet, I think. Had they known.
Too late now.
It's too late now. But I think they would have tried to stop it. No. And it makes you wonder how many emerging disruptive technologies have been stopped in the past to keep the oligarchs wealthy and keep them in power. Them losing their grip on the flow of information, that was probably the most devastating. Wouldn't you think?
Oh, yeah.
Definitely. Because they just can't control it. No matter how much they try to control the internet, they're not doing a good job. I don't think they will ever be able to do a good job controlling this.
Well, like I said, it's too late now.
It's too late.
It's too late now.
Yeah.
If they wanted to do that, they should have done that way back in the fucking 90s.
In the 90s, yeah.
Too late now. That shit, all the cats are out of the bag. All the cats in the world are out of the bag now.
Yeah.
There's no way of getting back in
even
there.
fundamentally government. It's just, and the media, it's just, and just business, cities itself. I mean, y'all thought I was bullshitting back when this pandemic first started. I said cities are going to go out of style. They're technologically obsolete. Because it just made sense to me. They're now saying that. They're now saying, yes, the future is kind of like a fucking highly developed suburbia. That there's no reason for a downtown per se anymore. Because the centers of cities were built around office buildings. And they can't fill office buildings anymore. What do you need an office building for? Everything's laptops. And laptops are at home. So why would a company rent office space from these big old office buildings? They would just keep everybody at home and save hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars a year, and pass that on either to the fucking employees or just put it in their fucking profit margins. Well, once those buildings are no longer there, now you don't need the support system around them. It starts to fucking evaporate. All the restaurants, police stations, the parking.